close to getting there. Both of these teams are so competitive. And it's a good time to remind everyone that NME is the only team of all of their opponents to take down Tribe at least once. Tribe has only lost a single Nexus, and it was to NME.
You know what's also pretty damn cool about NME? This is the only team out of the top 4 that have not been signed to an organization.
That's true.
Immortals, Cloud9, and Tribe Gaming. All staff members. Or all organizations, right? Professional orgs. NME, they're just running as a squad man. And when you look, if there's other orgs who are trying to get into Wild Rift, I hope they're tuning into this Grand Finals matchup and they're looking at this enemy squad, because if I were you, I'd pick them up ASAP.
I would too. I know a certain someone has an old org that has been put to rest and retired, but might want to pull that org back out, Rafa.
All right. I don't think Rex Regalis could not afford NME. If I think these players deserve to be paid more than what I could afford to pay them. So that's I know you're memeing, but I want to put some respect on all of these players, because they have fought through the trenches to get back into this Grand Finals matchup.
Absolutely. And we're already seeing that the two biggest mid laners are off the board, the Ziggs and the Corki, not wanting to be trifled with. Now, I say that those are the two biggest mid laners, but in reality, Starting has had some of the best games that we've seen in the entire tournament on Orianna. And that's not just today, that was yesterday as well. I absolutely adored the way that Tribe played this Orianna into Cloud9's duo mid strategy and used the very safe crowd control to great effect. So, I mean, Starting is just a huge multifaceted mid laner, and for NME, they have to keep that in mind when addressing this final ban that they have. They've already taken away Varus.
And, you know, the curious thing is that NME are the ones that ban out the Varus.
Right, yeah.
They recognize that Tribe Gaming are well aware of Varus being such a powerful marksman, even when you give it up. Yeah. And, you know, the funny thing is, if we're gonna... For the viewers, I'm sure there's many enthusiastic Vainglory fans from back in the day, from where a bunch of these players that you see on the screen come from. Yeah, Dienzio, Tigers, and Max Green. I mean, we had to pull up the old footage. We went back on the YouTube VODs to see how young these players were, and seeing them in their Winners Game interview. And now just to see Dienzio on the opposite side, former teammates from back then. I mean, this is... Sometimes the competition can be insane when you have been playing against rivals from a long time coming. But when you're playing against former teammates, and I still imagine really good friends, then the competition is even more exciting, Smacks.
Like this ban strategy from Tribe, removing the Jarvan from Tybe, who has had some really solid games on this pick. Like you were saying, the secondary engage from Tybe and the re-engage and the counteracting that he was able to bring to us and to his team in that series that they just played against Cloud9 was astounding. So Tribe, recognizing that was a potential for them, will take that one away, but it does leave open Selma's Senna, and it leaves open the two really big tanks in that Baron lane in Gragas and Malphite.
I have to say though, Smacks, I think when it comes to having Gragas and Malphite, you only want one or the other, because we didn't mention it during the cast, but Malphite knockups into explosive casts sometimes almost worked counterintuitively on what the team wanted to achieve, because you knocked them all up, but the explosive cast wasn't enough damage to actually seal the fight. And then it just spread all the members away from the rest of the damage dealers. So Tribe Gaming, they're going to take Gragas. They want the utility and the versatility, I should say, in either going for picks or actually disengaging.
And one thing that taking the Gragas does over the Malphite is that it denies the potential of a Gragas Senna bottom lane, which has been a lane that has sort of been popping up recently. We've tried it a lot ourselves, and it is quite potent. So I like the Tribe have done this. They do, of course, still leave open that Malphite. So for NME, they do gain access to the hulking armor building mountain of a champion. And they're also going to be blocking in that Wukong too. But for Tribe now, they're backing up that disengage with the cask with a Braum as well.
You have more disengage, as you said.
Yeah.
And then level 1 invades can be quite potent from Tribe Gaming. Oh my god.
It's back.
So it is back. You know, why wait? Why wait to bust it out in this series? Let's just open right on up. You have a ton of crowd control to set up for the Death Lotus, but I like this answer from starting. You now have a guaranteed point-and-click stun in that gold card to save for Truth as soon as he pops the Death Lotus.
I like that a lot too. And for Braum and Gragas and Camille, truthfully, they have many ways to lock down Truth on this Katarina, but that didn't stop Truth in the last game that we just saw him trounce Cloud9 with this Katarina pick, and you will have the opportunity to do it yet again. We're on to Wild Rift. Truth, not rocking with the flash. We'll go for a barrier ignite on this Katarina. and Rafa, I'm really curious to see if Selma will be the one farming in the Galio Senna lane, because that would provide NME with yet another damage dealer on their squad.
Yeah, Selma could optimize into some extra AP, go for a Rod of Ages build. You already see the Amplifying Tome is available for Selma, so that definitely could be the play. DNZO going for the Fasting Senna will still be a reliable damage threat, going for the Black Cleaver into the Frozen Fist, providing a lot of utility mixed in. As Tribe... Yep. We got it, Smacks. This is... Max, we're in Grand Finals, man! Can we just talk about that? Oh my god.
We haven't gotten to cast the best of 5 in Wild Rift ever. This is the first time that the two of us are doing this. This is so sick. And we're getting some of the greatest teams to have ever touched this game in North America, too. Oh, this is amazing stuff. The stakes are so high. They're trying to get that prize pool, and you know, for a team that doesn't have a sponsor, that prize pool is going to mean even more, because that's really the only way that they can fund themselves in this game, unless you're DNZO, who has that YouTube channel we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what the income do be like, but as we see already, NME making moves towards the bottom Scuttle Crab. Tribe are not going to flip for Crab. They already know that they're getting pushed in on the Dragon lane, so they're going to opt in for the Crab on the top side of the map, where Chuck does have prio over Louis at the moment.
Poor Truth playing this Katarina, trying to dive under this turret. I don't think Truth is going to be here in time, but not needed. Wow.
Oh my goodness. First blood for NME, forcing multiple flashes out of Old School and Max Green. Tigers is here, but only to really just see the former corpses of his comrades.
Tribe have no way to respond in the Baron lane either. They were not set up well to trade at all. Just an excellent pounce from NME underneath those two turrets. You can see now this Galio almost completing that Rod of Ages with just one recall. This is a lot of extra damage and a lot of efficiency that you can use with your gold too. I've been doing the math behind the scenes. Rod of Ages, it's a crazy good item.
Oh man. Rod of Ages being stacked up insanely fast for Selma. I mean, if we go back to your gold sheet that you had, Smacks, it's an insanely stat efficient item, even without getting the stacks, man.
Without, you're at 110% efficient, and once you stack it up, you're above 200. So you're quite literally getting double your money's worth with Rod of Ages when it is fully stacked. Very good item, and we're seeing Selma might be able to get it in the next few moments. Does have enough gold right now, but wants to stay around and make sure that they don't lose out on any turret damage unnecessarily. This Dienzio doesn't have very safe wave clear, or fast wave clear, I should say, for Senna.
Yeah. Trying to shove this wave out as fast as possible, waiting on this cannon minion. As there is both the Rift Herald and the Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. They'll want to be able to get a recall off soon so that they can have the Rod of Ages fully completed before they opt in for a fight.
Ooh. Check out where starting is, though. Destiny is available for Twisted Fate. Could find a flank. There's a Camille here, too.
Both have access to level 6. Selma, beautiful taunt onto the backline, forcing Tigers to have the flash and hook shot over the wall. Glacial Fissure from Max Green will break up the fight, but Tybe is there for the re-engage. Cyclone. Hero's Entrance will follow up, but Old School and Starting have already left, but Truth going under the tower. Finds the reset, finds one, finds two. This is the pop-off in the Katarina we were expecting.
It's a trade kill, but definitely going to be worth it for Truth. Those kills are so important. Tigers completely abandoning ship, just going straight to the Rift Herald, trying to trade at least something for their efforts, but man, Tribe are getting run around the Rift right now, Rafa. NME with the aggression, pedal to the metal. Let's not stop at all. We just beat Cloud9, for goodness sake. Let's keep it going.
The momentum swing is on their side. And, you know, for Tribe, they did just spend the past couple of hours waiting on NME and the rest of the matches to play out. You know, for NME, they're warmed up, man. They just got off of a best of 3. Tribe, this is their first game in a hot minute.
Yeah, you can't queue up as 5 for ranked in Wild Rift quite yet. There's no flex queue, so you can't get that time in. You gotta just wait and watch your opponents. This might be a nice play.
Now Tribe, they're getting fired up though. They've isolated a Louis. Beautiful gold card into the explosive cask. Hextech Ultimatum for good measure, locking him down. Ensures that the kill does go over to Tribe's way. The rest of the members of NME are trying to siege onto the bottom Dragon Lane. Rift Herald was popped from Tigers. Max Green trying to do all he can to defend under the turret. Glacial Fissure exchange for Dawn of Shadow, but Truth is here for resets once again. Death Lotus comes out. There's the gold card that we were talking about, but Truth still finds the resets.
And Tribe may be getting into the rhythm of this best of 5 series in the top side of the map, but NME are not done barreling away in the Dragon Lane. Another set of kills for these guys. Both Senna and Galio, 100% kill participation, and Tybe's still here too. They're forcing the flash out of Chuck.
Chuck, can he get out, though? The center snare connects. Barrier is going to be used, but only delays the inevitable. Truth finds another one there.
Oh, no,
and
starting.
Now, here comes Starting, but he doesn't have Max Green and Old School quite there yet to follow up on the engage. Death Lotus pops. Killer Instinct tries to find the backline and assassinate Truth, but he pops the barrier. Taunt is great from Selma. It's a killing spree for NME.
The members of Tribe are just marching in one by one like the ant song. Every single one of them just diving into their death and stomped on by the boots of NME. 9 kills now, and again it's Selma, Dienzio, and Tybe still finding all of these plays in the Dragon Lane. They now get the turret, so there's nothing left to even dive. They can just go wherever they want and keep getting these kills.
This is a 4,000 gold lead, Smacks, for NME, and for a composition that is so reliant on snowballing, this Katarina is getting out of control now. You look at the items, you have the mask, and you have the Prophet Pendant, and that death cap is going to be there soon now. Old School.
No.
Oh, no, buddy.
See ya. No way you're getting out of that one. You just hope that you give the kill over to Dienzio, but no such luck. Truth finds another one. There's that death cap that we know and love. Truth completely activated on this Katarina. The team fights are already so scary for Tribe to have to deal with. And like you said, they haven't been able to do much of anything this time. They had to just watch what NME was doing. And if they were, they know what Truth is about to do to them. They know that it's coming, but it's just up to them to stop it. I don't know if they can.
Chuck is and has completed the Sunfire Cape. I think it just comes down to how well Tribe can play around what item power spikes that they have. They're still waiting on what seems to be a force of nature from Max Green with that Moon Plate and Null Magic Mantle. Stone Plate enchantments have been completed for Tigers, Max Green, and Chuck respectively. They're going to pick a fight right now. They've annihilated Dienzio That's a nice pick from Tribe. It does stall out some time. The next dragon, though, has not spawned on the Rift quite yet.
Nicely done there. This is the great use of those ultimate abilities, both of the Camille and the Twisted Fate moves there. It's really all you can hope to get from those at this point of the game, where they're this far down. That's exactly what they needed to do. See, starting, he's getting those items down for Twisted Fate. We've seen some crazy strong Twisted Fate games today in our matches. And for starting, he's going to need to get to that strength in order for them to find that advantage. But
oh my god, it's just a beautiful taunt set of Zilla with the 3-man knockup ulti. This is going to be a reset show for Truth. It's a triple and it's a quadra. Looking for the penna. Truth. You can't go for Chuck under the tower. It's too damn tanky. It's not going to be taking him down anytime soon, but NME have all the access and they have the numbers necessary. Looking for this dragon.
In between two turrets looks to be NME's comfort zone in the team fights, Rafa. Another dragon for them off the back of this. And yeah, I mean, Tribe, if you watch that game, you know what Truth is doing. You know what he's about. But there's nothing to be done. A quadra kill. For this clean up sweeper champion in the Katarina. The engages for NME are so clean and so activating for Truth. It has to be so freeing for him to know that the crowd control will be there to stop that of Tribe. Because Tribe, they have so many ways to stop the Katarina ultimate and stop the resets from happening, but they're just not able to land them because NME are forcing them to use them other ways.
Defensive ultimates against the engage from Alui and Tybe means that you don't have anything to stop Truth once he comes in after all the crowd control abilities have been expended. And the other thing for NME is that they are picking these fights so precisely. They're knowing when Tribe don't have full-on members to be able to fight back when the engages come in. For Tribe, their goal is to try and see if they can isolate members from NME, because we have to go back to your analogy that you brought up for Immortals composition, because it is very similar in theory. When you have this Wukong, this Galio, and this Malphite all grouped together, it is a massive wombo CC. But isolated, these members by themselves can't do that much, and you have more than enough single target crowd control abilities to lock them down between starting and Tigers. But they don't find that opportunity at all, as Tribe found themselves extended, and Truth just says, this is super easy to clean up.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is super easy at this point. The spells are critting. Oh, starting. Run, man! Can you get out? The Ignite's down. Oh, no, he cannot. Starting. There's no way to leave. No ultimate, no flash. Now Alui's knocking up the other members, man. NME can't do anything wrong. They're finding all these kills.
Tiger's got the moves, though. Had to use hookshot and flash. Will be able to save his life. But that means that there is no jungler that's going to be coming in anytime soon to stop NME from securing the Baron.
Is that true, though? Old School is pushing down the mid wave. Okay, they're not going to try to stop it. They are going to try to do something on the map despite the Baron going down, though. Chuck will take this turret, but oh.
Whoa! Starting popping the stasis, but there's so many members right on top of him. The Cyclone knockup leads into more for Tribe. They're on the back foot once again. Hero's entrance is going to fall up into the back line, and Truth just isolates Old School. Max Green holding the shield up, but only for naught as he just gets slighted down.
Man, nobody even died for NME. Chuck, yes, he did get that turret, but he's only one Gragas.
Chuck, can he get some damage down? But this is a full tank Gragas. That explosive cast is not going to be annihilating anytime soon. And smacks to add on to injury. D'Enzio, the former teammate to Tigers and to Max Green, throws out the question mark for a little fun banter.
Oh boy, yeah, NME. I mean, if there's one thing they're doing in this game right now, it's having fun. They are just running rampant. 12 kills for Truth? Are you kidding me? We thought it was impressive that he pulled this out in Game 3 of the lower bracket finals. But now this is the actual finals. This is the grand finals, and he's still doing it. He's still playing this Katarina, this high-octane feast or famine champion, making it work so well. If it's a feast or famine champion, this is Thanksgiving.
And NME have done such an amazing job to set up this Katarina win condition for success. Because you think about the rest of the damage that is coming from NME, it would have not been as present, but everyone is accelerated. Tybe has a Trinity Force for crying out loud.
Yeah. Oh my god,
knock up, diving under the knock turret. Up, another knock up, and it's just damage that follows.
Woo!
It's destruction that ensues in the wake of Tribe's corpses in the Baron lane. Max Green trying to run away. A taunt will not clip him. Throws out the Glacial Fissure, trying to buy time for the rest of Tribe to set up defense positions. But D'Anzio, leave him alone, man. It's just game one. Relax. But he's in their heads. He's got the BM emotes, and they're going super far overextended. Hero's Entrance comes out, provides a little bit of defensive utility. An enemy will rotate over to the mid lane inhibitor, try to take as much of the base as they can. Tribe will try to find and see if they can find a re-engage off of this, but Truth is just too damn powerful. He's got the resets. Once again, Destiny comes out, but you don't need Destiny to see that your base is getting eviscerated as Tribe. And it starting goes in. Shock tries to find something on the back end of this one. And it looks like NME. They might... okay, Explosive Cask? It's going to isolate a Louis. But I don't know. 14,000 gold down still doesn't really give you many options as Tribe.
Oh, this is like the scene in Charlie Brown where there's like, I got a big candy bar. And then Tribe is like, well, I got a rock. I killed a Louis. That's really all I have, though. Another dragon getting taken by NME. There's no way the Tribe can do anything. They only have the rock. They don't even have a base. But, you know what, Rafa? They've got game 2. And they've got game 3. At least those ones. And maybe more if Tribe can find some wins, but this one's looking bleak.
Yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat it at this point. NME, the way that they've been executing on the game plan, it would take NME, not even Miracle Throws. NME would have to be disconnected from the game at this point. They would have to be disconnected for the next 3 minutes so the Tribe could just funnel as many resources as they want, take the Baron for free, take the Elder Dragon for free. Even at that point, I don't know how much gold that gets you back.
Doesn't look like NME is liking that strategy either. They do just take that Baron for free alongside the third dragon. You know, I've heard tales told of the disconnecting strategy, but NME is just preferring the full-on engage and kill everybody strategy instead. I like that one better.
You know, NME, they may not be disconnecting, but they might be disconnecting Tribe from this game 1 as they close it out in style. We now move on to game 2, Smacks.
Man, what a fast game. And I know what this means, Rafa. I know that this just means that game 2, Tribe is going to retaliate and it's going to be even faster. If we're getting history repeating itself again, those one-sided games, they don't mean anything. And we've seen that now these two teams are 2-2 against each other today. So they're just trading back and forth. It's just a fun game of volleyball, you know? Who can keep it up in the air? They're just passing it over the net over and over. And I know, Rafa, you haven't seen Haikyuu, so you don't get that reference. Volleyball is a sport where you've got two teams and you're trying to get the ball over and hit the ground on the other team. So, like I said, I know you haven't seen Haikyuu, so I just figured I'd explain it.
You know what's so funny, Smacks? I brought out this pencil because as soon as you mentioned volleyball, I was like, all right. I think it's going to take about 7 seconds before Smacks references Haikyuu. I didn't even make it to 4. It just... it immediately volleyball is mentioned, and I'm just like, oh, Haikyuu's about to come any second.
You know me so well.
Well...
And, you know, if you know that, then that just means that you should just watch Haikyuu. I'm in your head.
Jesus. I have it saved in my bookmarks, Max. I promise.
Good. Good first step.
Yeah. It's there for me waiting whenever I decide that I don't want to watch and catch up on other esports when I go to bed. Now, into game 2. As you said before, Tribe Gaming. This is a pretty big stomp for game 1 from NME. But like you said, in that upper finals, Tribe came back just as ferociously in the returning game 3 when NME took that game 2 off of them. So, and this is because this is a best of 5. There is plenty of time for adaptation from both teams for you to, as a squad, to get the download and to start to realign your priorities in terms of draft. And when you look at how much reliable engage that NME had access to, it was one of the reasons why NME themselves took away the Wukong from Tarzan over on Cloud9 when they dropped game 2.
And it's not just the Wukong that made NME look so strong, it's the Senna pick, too, that was denied away from them in the past 3 games. Selma, he makes this champion look so good. And usually what we would think for Senna is that you have a very defensive lane, right? You're playing Galio so that you can peel the Senna, and you're playing Senna so that you can heal the Galio. It's a symbiotic relationship right there. And what NME do with this pick is like, oh, Senna has a snare, Galio has a knock-up and a taunt. Let's use those just to kill them, you know? Let's just go and kill our enemies. We don't care about defense at all. We're just gonna dive right in with these champions. Why would you anything else? And for NME, if I'm watching this and seeing them do this, I'm thinking the same thing. Why would you do anything else? These guys are popping off. They're finding dives left and right. And when they can't dive past that bot lane turret anymore because they've already killed it, what do? They go dive mid lane instead. Nowhere is safe for Tribe Gaming when Selma's Senna is on the case. And I'm very impressed with that champion. I don't think we've seen this champion piloted so well and so aggressively as we have with Selma. So this is going to be a pretty big pick, I think, in the rest of the finals.
To be fair, we've mostly seen Selma's Senna throughout the entire series or the majors, whenever NME get their hands on it. But that was Dienzio on the Senna there. Selma was piloting the full AP Galio. I know, Smacks, because no, you're good, because I mean, at some point when we were looking at that upper bracket finals, Selma and Max Green had both 100% win rate on that Senna, and where it had to be traded up, right? So I can understand, but I think the funny thing is that when we see the Selma Senna, we see a Black Cleaver Frostfire build or Iceborne Gauntlet build. Whenever we see Dienzio pilot the Senna, he went for
Armor Pen.
That's right, more mana into Yumu's Ghostblade, baby.
He's a marksman at heart. You know, you got to deal that damage, and maybe that's why it felt different to me. Maybe that's why it felt like an even greater force. Dienzio piloting it so well, and you know, they've got a lot of history, Dienzio and the members of Tribe Gaming, so maybe there's that little passion coming out of it too. You can feel it in the air.
As we said before, sometimes the competition is greater when it's between close friends and people that you have shared the world stage with and have won a world championship with. When you go back to the days of 2017. And Dienzio,
if I queue up against you in ranked, you're never going to want to queue up ever again, man. You're just going to get stomped.
Oh, word? Oh, word? Is that how it's going to be down? Oh, my God. Honestly, if you get Ziggs, though, I'm disconnecting, though. That's facts. Oh,
it's
man.
a good thing we queue up together every time. So we don't have to think about that.
You know, that actually makes me wonder, as you know, when you look at other solo queue ladders, as trio queue and duo queue is not allowed at those higher ranks. I wonder what it's like for teammates when they end up going against each other. I mean, I've known multiple eSports games before, watching solo queue and stream VODs, where you'll see like like one player rank up or go up against another player, and they'll purposely like camp them just to piss them off and tilt them. Yeah. There's for any people that are League of Legends fans and know like TSM from back in the day, I distinctly and fondly remember a time where Bjergsen was playing against Svenskeren. And for those that don't know, Bjergsen mid laner, Svenskeren jungler. And there was a time where Svenskeren literally just camped a bush outside of Bjergsen's base, killed him twice, and Bjergsen got pissed. It's like, dude, Svenskeren, you're freaking losing the game. My team is pushing into your base. He's like, yeah, well, we already lost this game. I don't care. I just want to piss you off. And it's like, you, dude.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly how you got to do it.
Gotta go for the tilters, man.
And it's a good thing that if that were to happen, that Shaco isn't in the game, because that'd be the easiest way to tilt me.
Yes.
If you play Shaco against me, I honestly, you know what? Now that I think about it, no, that wouldn't be the best way to do it, because I would just dodge. I would not play that game. I would just turn off my phone, and I would call it a day. I'd go play a different game at that point.
I
queue up for some TFT.
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing if I see your Ziggs in a long time. I'm just like, nope, not going to even go for it. And when we come back into the scope of this game, I mean, you already saw the banter from Dienzio spamming the question mark emote.
Yeah.
He was in their base. The one time he flared it up once as they were pushing out the mid turret, and then they got into the base. They've had a massive fight victory, and it's just question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. It's just like, oh my god, this is
the mental warfare.
If you can get into the heads of Tribe Gaming, I mean, I think one of the things that is kind of cool about these players is they're more on the younger side than to the League of Legends player base that we're used to. Smacks. There's a lot of older players that are potentially more resilient to such mental warfare tactics. Tribe Gaming, of course, they have competitive experience, but anything that could be used as an advantage, as an edge to get into the other players' heads, this is for 10,000, man. So just do whatever you can.
Just gotta get into the Discord DMs. I am going to camp you. You are going to die at 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh my god. Just marking it on the timestamp, and then it's like, nah, there's no way they're not going to do that. And they show up and they're like, oh my god, they were right. They actually did it, the madmen.
Yep. Some perfect gameplay right there. And yeah, like you said, these players are quite a bit younger than the people that we're used to casting over in PC League of Legends. I think it's mostly just because this game has been around in North America for like 5 months. So it has not been a very long time. We're seeing the pioneering of the meta and of the game and everything with these players, and it's really cool as we are getting through these bans a little bit. Got the Malphite off the board, so we're already focusing a bit more on the Baron lane tanks.
When we go back to the end of that game one, if you're in Tribe Gaming's head, you're probably thinking, hey man, Malphite engage for a team that is already super accelerated, it just makes it a no-brainer to just find more than 2 members grouped up and just immediately go for the pick. And this Senna's gone too.
Yeah, Tribe are really altering their ban strategy in this one, and I think that they are punishing NME quite well. NME are the ones banning Ziggs, which is pretty rare for a blue side, I'd say. You don't really have to do that. Because to me, if you're banning the best champion on the patch on blue, then you're just giving a free ban over to red. So I think the Tribe are using this time very well to take away some of the comfort picks.
Camille's taken away from Tigers. Yeah. This does leave up either a Baron laner isolation in Gragas, and then you get Corki, or they ban the Corki, and you get the best Baron laner that remains.
It's really interesting. We're coming down to the final games that we're going to be seeing, potentially on this patch. It depends on how long it takes for the next patch to come out, I suppose, but it's going to be a trade. So with this Rakan ban, Tribe are saying, whichever one you pick of Corki and Gragas, we're just going to take the other one.
Rakan would have also set up into a nice Xayah and Rakan combo onto B selections 2 and 3 if Tribe Gaming want to answer back with Extreme Dive, as we've seen Rakan and Xayah have done great as anti-dive measures, but the Corki is prioritized for NME.
Chuck back on the Gragas. This was the champion that Tribe wanted to get anyway. as they did have the option of Gragas or Malphite. They picked Gragas in game 1. Didn't go too well, honestly, as Tribe did struggle quite a bit in mostly the Dragon lane, I will say. They did get heavily bullied in that side of the map. So for Tribe, they'll have that Gragas back again. Chuck, pretty good game on it, but the bot lane is still completely wide open. Might be Lucian heading down there for old school.
Still can be flexed to starting in the mid lane, as that versatility is there for Tribe. NME can go ahead and lock in Wukong for themselves to still maintain that engage priority. And then probably a support option, as they don't necessarily have to reveal whether they are going to have this Corki in the mid lane for Truth or for Dienzio in the Dragon lane.
Flex picks so important for this stage.
Oh!
Although that definitely reveals it. Actually, no, it doesn't, because neither of those champions are mid laners. But it does reveal to us that Louis will be the one playing this Jarvan into Chuck's Gragas. And, you know, this has been sort of the second string Baron laner that we've seen prop up, mostly just to provide another form of a tank, because it's definitely, I feel like Jarvan is still tankier than something like a Garen, who is still going to build a lot of tank, but doesn't really have any crowd control or engage. He's still a damage champion through and through, so I'm appreciating the fact that we are getting more Jarvan in that Baron lane.
I think it also just denies it from T-Tigers, as you would have had the Cataclysm utility on their side, enemy being able to pair it up well. And, you know, noticing here, Smacks, is that we used to see Xin Zhao as one of the best junglers to take, but with the addition of Olaf coming into as a counter response to Xin Zhao, it is just far more beneficial to pick up something like the Wukong, who just gives you such powerful engaging utility spells. As wait a minute.
So is this
a Pantheon support for Selma?
It might be Jarvan support.
I could buy that as well.
Either way, Truth is getting Katarina again, and that is terrifying for Tribe to have to deal with. Honestly, when Tribe was already banning away some comfort picks that happened in game 1, I was pretty surprised to not see Katarina on there, considering the way the Truth has handled this champion in the past 2 games. But this Pantheon is definitely a new one for us. This is a champion that I don't think has been seen in any of the games today until right now.
The only team that played a Pantheon in our major so far, I believe, was, I want to say YMCA, because No You had been a pretty active Pantheon player in his time on the Rift.
Yeah.
So for NME, we haven't gotten the proper lane assignments quite yet, but if this is a Selma Pantheon, this is one of those. Okay, all right. So in this option into the Nami, Smacks, how are you feeling as a Nami support who is looking at someone like a Pantheon who can just 100 to 0 you?
I am feeling like I'm about to be sushi. Is really what it is about. Selma is going to have very easy access to engaging on Nami, but for Max Green, you know, this is still a pretty heavy peel-focused champion, and you do still have options. Like, you can bubble the Pantheon when he dives in if you time it well, but you have to worry a lot about the stun. That is point click. You can't miss it, really. There it is.
We have quite a few gamers here in the mid lane at the moment.
We do.
And they all disperse. I was like, hey guys, everyone, what's up? You know, yeah. Let's drink to the minion wave, crash and woohoo. All right,
Mark,
everybody go home.
We just said that these are all like young players.
Okay. Well, they're drinking things like milk, okay, and soda. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw my spouse under the bus right now.
Okay.
They've been buying these like huge jugs of raspberry lemonade, and
that sounds good.
drinking them all in one day. And I looked at the nutrition facts of these. You're getting like 50+% of your sugar intake with one serving, and there are like 7 or 8 servings in a jug.
Well, Smacks, let me tell you, the sugar intake for Tribe Gaming is kind of off the charts as Selma and Dienzio almost forced deaths on them, but a beautiful bubble capitalizing on the Selma goes back in, but it's not going to be enough to answer back. First blood goes over to Tribe.
What a bubble from Max Green. This is the way to counteract this Pantheon. If you land that crowd control, then there's really nothing that he can do. He doesn't have access to his shield quite yet. He's only level 2, so Selma getting punished very early on into this game. That is gigantic for Tribe.
Tribe finding out Chuck in the river. As Chuck was trying to face check to see if he could maintain control over that crab. Louis flashing over the wall forces Chuck's flash.
Traded flashes in that Baron lane. Truck still does have that honey fruit used up quite well. Not that that requires a lot of skill expression, I would say. But you know what? He did a great job. 10 out of 10 honey fruit gaming.
Not for Tribe. First blood in this game, too, against someone like the Pantheon who was selected as kind of a kill lane option into taking down this Nami, but without the flash, you're not able to close the distance as easily, and Nami being ranged, while squishy, can poke you from a distance.
She can. She got the ebb and flow for healing, too. There's a bubble again.
Aftershock gives Selma a little bit of resistances as he takes quite a bit of damage from the bubble and the trade back from Old School. They are dedicating 4 members to a potential dive here, but Tybe is here. Cyclone comes out, lands a 3-man knockup. Truth tries to go in for the resets, but it was already canceled preemptively by a beautiful Crescent Guard from Tigers, and Tigers is absorbing as much damage as he can, but it still might have been enough despite Truth going down, as the rest of the damage coming out from Tybe and Dienzio are able to fight back against Tribe.
Okay, Tribe finding that 1-for-1. They find the kill onto Truth. If they didn't shut down Truth, then it probably would have been another quadra kill, honestly, for him. That Katarina is so scary in those corridors, but Tribe keep the level head and they keep their focus on him. It's super clutch. They do end up losing out on one, though. Tigers does fall. Back out on the Rift, not going to mean a whole lot, but shutting down Truth, keeping him down, keeping their eyes peeled for Katarina. Potential engages, potential resets is crucial for Tribe.
Mountain Dragon has spawned. Rift Herald is also on the table. Tigers have already trying to start up this objective before NME get a chance to respawn on the map and decide which objective they want to go for first. Selma gets some vision down on the Dragon, notices that Tribe are not there. So now, I imagine that the thought process is try to go and hustle over to the Dragon before Tribe are able to respond after the Rift Herald being taken, but at this rate, NME are way too late.
Yeah, absolutely are. Tribe can't even secure the crab either. Just trying to get into this river. Doesn't end up working out. They're still hanging out, though, trying to find some Nami. I don't know if Max Green is going to let them, though. It's 4 members. Still the Smite is here. A Louis is arriving as well. Enemy don't want to give this up. You can see it.
They have package available as well. It's a great team fighting tool available for Dienzio. Rest of the members of Tribe are coming in, but look at this Rift Herald play. They know that they're going to now start pressuring the mid turret. Tidal Wave is going to spring up the fight here. Dienzio no longer having package. Oh, okay, well, goodbye to starting. Went for the taunt, but just gets blown up by the members of NME. The numbers advantage now for the side against Tribe. Selma going in with the Grand Starfall, finds Tigers, but he gets kited back. Dragon has
Truth is getting resets.
Not secured yet. Truth is looking for more, but he's still sub 200 HP. He's able to get up to 250. Beautiful flag and drag from Louis. Lands on the Tigers. He goes back in on the Truth, tries to stop him, but Truth spins and slices him down.
That's what happens when you let Truth find more kills and find more takedowns in general. A 1 fight for NME. The Dragon's still alive. They miss out on that mid turret thanks to a smart usage of the Rift Herald from Tribe. But this is activating Truth right now, Rafa. He's already getting those components that we know He's going for that death cap yet again. It's also got a random sword in there. I don't know what that's about. But just
it's not a gunblade, right? I don't think so. Maybe the longsword was in there just for the matchup, specifically in the starting, since magic damage against magic resistance stacking shield man in Mr. Galio. You have the longsword and get a little bit more oomph out of your physical damage trades.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that idea, Rafa. Let's just kind of keep it in there, though. The sword sort of sticking out like a sore thumb, but maybe eventually it'll be something like a guardian angel, perhaps. Feels like that would be reasonable for truth.
That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, definitely wants to get death cap as soon as possible at this point. Dragon's still up. Tribe trying to corral around this. There is a sneaky ward, though. Enemy will have vision of this thanks to that and the scuttle crab. They don't have package this time around.
Tybe potentially looking for the flank. Has flash, but they're already trying to isolate. Look at this pinch maneuver. Alui wants to flank from the left side. Tybe over the wall from the right.
Not a ward,
and already, I mean, it scares off Tribe. They don't want to go for it anymore.
Just going to reset and... Well, go right back to it, actually. Tribe going for take 2. Oh.
I mean, look at the decisions, though. Tybe goes on in the wall. Does he... Oh, who gets it? Okay, Tribe are able to secure the dragon for themselves, but the isolation from Alui means that the rest of the members of NME are not able to close the distance and follow up on the engage, but Chuck is stuck all by his lonesome here. He's a beefy man, but he's not beefy enough to survive the onslaught of NME here.
Okay, so Tigers, they get that smite down. They do still find that objective, and it's a trade of 1-for-1 in the end also. I was a bit concerned by what we saw from Old School using the culling on the dragon. I don't think it deals that much damage to it, but nonetheless, that was the option to go for. Now with this red buff, and Essence Reaver completed too, this is going to be a lot of damage. You can see that's the Solari Charge Blade that will be the second item for the solution, a lethal combination of auto attacks, lots of crit, and for Old School, he's going to need to provide that physical damage for his team because this is a very magic damage heavy front line that they've got. Starting and Chuck both going to be dealing mostly magic damage, and for T-Tigers, he's mostly just there as a big old health bar the later the game goes.
Good old Serix Gauge plus Stone Plate gives you a lot of team fight effective HP. Tybe, unfortunately, the monkey was isolated and did not have flash.
And, I mean, that's just going to help Old School deal more damage. Like I was saying, he now has 3 kills on the solution. Oh, wow. Louis.
You know, I think that the play, I could see the vision that they thought about. Truth was there, as well as Selma. They could have potentially looked for a burst, but the fact that the Cataclysm only landed on the starting meant that the priority targets that they were looking for were not locked up in that death cage.
Vision spotted or not, it does result in a couple of pretty big head scratchers for NME in the top side of the map. They're using up a lot of resources down there, and we'll have to figure out a way to snowball this or just come back in general. That was maybe one way, but Chuck sniffs it out.
DNZO
Don't
also
touch my craggy ice.
You know, I found out about the Gragas lore a little bit ago, and I didn't realize
what
it was
Gragas lore?
What?
He's just
come on, man. No, like he has like a magical shard that constantly refills the barrel of wine, so it's always full. That's awesome. Like, you imagine if you were like a shopkeeper or like a wine seller, and then you could just continuously sell wine. You could just sell that shit for free. It's awesome.
You certainly could, but he instead is playing Wild Rift with it. So
well, you know, the nice thing is that you are able to get a lot of slows and soft crowd control and being able to disrupt fights. And for Tribe, they have the advantage this time around compared to NME, but Selma might be looking for engage. Beautiful follow-up from Tybe is going to be able to set up for the engage onto Old School in the backline. Selma is doing everything to zone off the Lucian away from the rest of the teammates. Alui is also on the backline. They finally find that the explosive cask comes in a little too late, as Old School has already been in the dust.
And NME are so low on all 5 members, but it just doesn't matter at all. 3 kills right there. Chuck is trying to find something. He's just getting run around. His ankles are breaking on Gragas. Maybe he's drank a little bit too much out of his refillable cup. But for NME, this is huge. They're trying to bounce back and find these skirmishes. They're going to need more objectives to actually do this and come back, though. They're still down a couple of turrets. Want to get more of those for gold and just to open up the map and give Truth more access to find resets.
Tybe has to pop the stone plate as Tiger's just on the offensive here. The rest of the damage dealers for NME were not quite there yet to be able to fight back. Tribe being able to effectively take out a bunch of HP from Tybe. That's an enchant down for this dragon. Cyclone is not available quite yet. Selma still waiting on that Grand Starfall.
Ooh. Come on. Bubbled up. On a Sunday. Twitch.
we're not quite the Monday yet, but Tybe is going to make the action happen. Goes down for Zephyrs. Truth can he find the resets? Finds 2. Finds potentially 3. Just needs 1 more, but it gets exhausted. Selma is able to clean up 1 as he finds the stun onto the sushi. Kebabs it. Quadra for Truth.
There's just no way the Truth gets Katarina ever again in this series, is there? This is insane. 6 kills. Another quadra kill. Feels like he's been able to get quadra kills in every single one of these games, Rafa. Setting up for this Baron. As long as they don't pull a Rafa, they're going to get it.
Nah, these guys are professionals, man.
Oh my
god. Oh my god. I was holding in a sneeze as well. I didn't want that to come through. Oh my god. But Smacks, NME, even with a pretty decent lead from Tribe for the first few minutes of the game, they've clawed their way back. They've been able to find successful fights, and Truth, once again, as you said it before, is just finding these isolations and these reset opportunities where Tribe just don't have the CC to actually prevent Truth from continuing.
Man, I can't believe Truth has just kept this pick hidden for so long. He hasn't pulled it out up until these last few games. But this has got to be his best champion, right? This is insane. How is he able to teamfight so well on this?
I mean, the surprising thing is that you would imagine that at Wild Rift eSports and the competitive level, teams would be able to manage a volatile pick like Katarina, but when the fights breaks out like this, the package coming out, and the chaos just starts to ensue, and it's a 4-man knocker from Tidal Wave, it will keep the opposition at bay, but Tybe says, we're still going, baby! Cyclone under the wall. Gonna still have to trade 1-for-1. Selma continuing the charge, but now, explosive cast is huge though from Chuck, and it picks off Selma and Dienzio for the taking.
And Louis was trying to save his team, but it was way too late. Now he has to run from all the members of Tribe, getting cullinged. Old School.
Old School. Okay, fancy moves, but Truth is here for the resets. Death Lotus, he's finally arrived to the party, looking for more. But Tigers is able to get himself away before the final shampoo comes through.
And Old School's moves were clean as can be, but can't make it work in the end. The tankiness of this Jarvan from Alui is crazy. And of course, it ends with Truth finding more kills, now up to 7 of them. I think that's going to be a full Leandries for him. Yep, there it is. And why not? Get some more magic penetration in there. This is spooky. And you know what, Rafa? He sold the sword. The sword's gone.
He just needed it for the... Well, it's okay. He just needed it for the early laning phase. That's a cool tech, though.
Sword disappear? Actually, you know what? He's just holding it.
In his hat.
No, he's holding it in his hand. Look at that.
I I thought it was like a Harry Potter reference where you pull the sword out of the hat.
Oh yeah.
With the Godric Gryffindor
with
sword,
Gryffindor and Fox, the poorly named Phoenix, if we're being honest, definitely sounds like a curse word.
I never thought about that before, to be honest. I always just thought it was weird to call a bird a fox. That's what my interpretation of it was. But
yeah,
you know,
it's
I never
weird too. Just a terrible name. I mean, honestly, J.K. Rowling is not known for her naming skills.
Well,
we could be here all day just talking about how terrible she is at that. But
okay. some light flame on the J.K. Rowling, but in the scope of this game, we've already seen the banter come out from Dienzio when they were massively ahead in Game 1, and it's not necessarily flame, but still some cheeky punches and some playful mental warfare from the former... How do I want to say
former
this?
teammate.
The former teammate from T-Tigers and Max Green back in the day. During the vain glory days, as many will refer to them as glory days for NME. Now's their time to start up this Baron, 9,000 health, but you already know that NME, they don't want to really commit to the Baron. They want Tribe to come in so that they can use this package.
They're taking a lot of damage from Baron, though, really quickly realizing that they don't want to actually take this down at all. Dienzio with the Corki package, trying to find an in, but does not want to be the one to engage by himself at all. That's not what Corki's there to do. So, feeling slightly left out. There goes package, not even going to be used, unfortunately. Dienzio misses that opportunity, but NME, they have stalled enough time for the Elder Dragon to spawn. Is it Ocean?
Oh! Tybe tries to find an engage, but it's a nice shot away from Max Green. We'll stuff it for a minute. Truth tries to go for the Nami, but the beautiful stuff from Chuck forces the stasis out. Truth is gone! Wow. Tribe! Now they don't have to deal with the Katarina anymore. It's up to Dienzio to be able to put out the damage. Louis has also been routed off. Tribe still have all 5 members still strong here, and that Elder Dragon is looking mighty juicy.
Old school skirting around and scooting with this Lucian. All of these dives so clean. They still have to worry about the smite from Tybe, but do they really? He's nowhere near this. This is going to be an Elder Dragon for Tribe. And Rafa, have we even seen a team lose with Elder Dragon? I don't think we've seen that happen a single time. This buff is so powerful. Tribe locking that one in.
I think actually one of the matches in the qualifiers, there's a team that had Elder Dragon and they still lost. I don't remember what it was. And I'm pretty sure that they didn't make it to top 8. It has happened. I wouldn't say that Tribe would be that kind of team to lose with Elder Dragon. As we have seen on track record, once a team gets Elder Dragon, it is pretty damning at this point in the game.
Yeah. For Tribe, they really just have that huge tool. And it's permanent in this game too, the Elder Dragon burn. So should be able to win these next few exchanges and take out this game. But, you know, there's always that X factor. And the name of that is Truth on Katarina. The resets are still available.
Are you calling him DMX?
No.
Well, damn. Okay. Well, Tybe, he's going to try to be the X Factor right now. Finds a 2-man Cyclone, but the tidal wave breaks up the rest of the members of NME, preventing a further follow-up on the engage. Tribe get their prize in the inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and they advance on to the Dragon, or the Baron lane, I should say.
NME can't even get in and say hi to them. The turret's already dead by the time that they even think about engaging. They don't have the package available for Dienzio for quite some time. They don't have an easy way to get into this fight. Tribe, they know what they have. They know that they can end this game, and they're going to try yet again with taking down this turret.
Tybe doesn't have access to Cyclone. Keeps trying to go in with that Nimbus Strike, but just gets immediately bursted out as a retreat back to the base. Now we have 2 Empowered Cannon minions pushing into the base. They try to go for the Miracle Engage, but at this point, Tribe, the stats The damage, it's just all too much for NME to deal with. And Game 2 answers in response from Tribe.
And that's just it, Rafa. All it takes is the one Elder Dragon fight. And Old School is the one on Tribe Gaming to clutch it out and save the game. Killing Truth is just so important. And Truth was really close to finding those resets as well. It was so close to getting that kill on a max screen and then finding more shun pose to move around. And this is the downfall of Katarina, right? If you don't get one kill in a fight and you just go down, then your champion is entirely useless. Your only thing that you can do is deal damage. You don't have any crowd control at all. So the fact that that doesn't land for Truth means that they just have to give up the Elder Dragon and give up the Nexus as well, as tends to follow when Elder Dragon goes over.
And to be fair, to give credit over to NME, there was a moment where we're like, oh my goodness, NME have done it again. They're finding fights. Truth is popping off. But then Tribe, with a beautiful response, as you said it, the one time they stuff the Katarina from being able to actually find those resets. You see how much of the damage is lost out from NME, and it was such at a crucial time as well, where the Elder Dragon was available. So now, when we go back to the draft phase for Game 3, we have to imagine, is this a part where Tribe Gaming feel confident enough to actually deal with the Katarina even if it's left open? Or do they just don't want to risk it anymore here, Smacks?
It's tough to say. I think that with NME, they now get side selection. They might want to move over to that red side. And if that happens, then Tribe have a freed up ban and they can go for that Katarina. But we'll have to see which side we actually get in this draft, as we're getting down to the wire here in this series.
Bang, bang, bangity bang. Said bang, bang, bangity bang. We're back for the Game 3, Smacks. I need a fist bump right now because you, my friend, are powering through midnight right now. As many of our Eastern Time staff, as well as anyone in the audience, that are staying up to witness this banger of a series. And see how it all ties up in the end here, Smacks.
I do. I thought you were just making a joke about the song "Bang Bang" by Jessie J, Ariana Grande.
See, not that one. There's a lot of songs with that word in it, but
it's true.
I think that word kind of resembles a lot in what has been happening in this series, because there's a lot of bangs, there's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of blow for blows happening on both sides. As in that second game, we almost thought that NME in that mid game, off of the back of some well-executed opportunities from Truth on the Katarina, could have pushed them over the edge. But then Tribe Gaming are able to stuff that engage right around the time that the Elder Dragon spawns. And at that point, Smacks, it's pretty damn hard to fight against stats like that.
Definitely is. Tribe Gaming showing us what the Elder Dragon is all about. And I think that was one of the first Elder Dragons that we've actually seen today, but they're making it work very well for themselves, evening up the score. And I just really like that both these teams are just playing back and forth. They're just trading games. Unfortunately for Tribe, if that continues, then NME are going to win the series.
If the script is trade games back and forth, NME do end up on the odd number. So Tribe Gaming are quote-unquote destined to lose.
It's the even number, because they have already been doing it since the winners finals. Because Tribe Gaming took games 1 and 3, and
3
now
plus 5 is 8. Indeed,
they took game 5. So NME, they've taken games 2 and 4. If you think about it that way.
Can I get?
Then
I wish
we're really thinking.
Yeah, we are thinking.
We're portals.
We are really using the last bit of our brain power in coming up with something so arbitrary right now.
Our final 2 brain cells are operating at full capacity. We gotta see the hamster wheels going on.
We gotta save the one brain cell for just being able to talk about the game, as at the very most we are getting at least 2 more games, maximum 3, as we are heading into Game 3. And so far, for Tribe and NME, bans are still remaining to be the same. NME have not made a change in whether they want to take anything away from Tribe in the prior game, as Tribe probably don't have to... this is still the conversation and the question that we wanted to ask earlier, Smacks. Despite winning Game 2, are Tribe fearful of this Katarina?
Well, we did see a side swap, so Tribe now on Red team. They can consider that. They don't have to worry about banning the really OP champions because they are the ones who have that first pick. So if they do want to ban Katarina, this is the perfect time to do it. Tribe Gaming, they've already taken away some of the other comfort picks that we've been seeing removed throughout the series. The Senna and the Malphite gone. And, I mean, I don't see a reason to stick with the Rakan ban personally. So, now, if it were me at Tribe Gaming, I would have banned the Katarina. But I say that, and they banned Rakan, and they won. So, based purely on results, Rakan ban seems pretty good.
Could be the play. Tribe Gaming, as we are winding down the clock here, Smacks. I just want to see if we get really wild in Game 3 in terms of just like straight up
Wild Rift
adaptations. See, that's why I love this game, Smacks. Things are so it is so early on into the lifespan of Wild Rift Summoner series that we get to see picks like Katarina just run rampant. Expectations have been defied by both teams coming into this grand final set.
What we really need is an Akshan pick. That's what
Please
I'm really
make it happen.
all about.
Just do it.
Just one game.
Do it for the flair.
The one Akshan game that we've gotten was when he was not allowed.
And it was an illegal pick. They had to wait one freaking day. And they did it one day too early. And our wonderful head referee, Leo, was so pissed and so upset. It's like, I told them, just wait one more day and you could play it. And they're like, nah, we want to pick Akshan right here.
That's the one game that we got, and it was stricken from the record. So we actually haven't gotten any. He did win that game, though, so that's cool. Akshan, he has both a 100% win ratio and a 0% win ratio at the same time, if you think about it. He took a Nexus, but the Nexus was revoked. So it's Akshan is just stuck in purgatory. And until a team actually plays him, he will remain there. Save our boy Akshan. Save him.
Well, with Tribe, the Corki was available for the taking, considering, though, that Tribe had just beaten Dienzio on that Corki. They prioritized the Lucian for Old School, as you saw him. He had the moves. He was slick. He was dancing around. But Tribe gets his Camille, Mr. Smacks.
Is it his Camille, though? Because the last time the enemy picked Camille, it went to the Baron lane for a Louis, and enemy favored the Jarvan instead. That could definitely happen yet again, but I, for one, am a big fan of Tribe's Camille, personally. I'm a follower on the Twitch channel. I mean, you can see his Twitch channel right there. It's in his name, so...
Most of these members do have, or a couple of these members have ways to advertise themselves on other platforms.
And we've talked about it as well. We've already talked about the Twitch channel for Tribe and the YouTube channel for DNCO, so we're doing them favors too. Honestly, they're doing themselves the most favors by just being good at the game and making it to finals anyway. But it's always fun to shout out the content that these players are making, because they're really good at the game, so definitely check those out. For Nami, now on Tribe's side, though, Max Green had a great game on this last game, and he'll have to play against Ariana Grande now.
It's Ariana Grande, baby! Seraphine! Oh my goodness. Anytime the encore comes out, you already know what's about to happen, Smacks. For those that haven't played with us, whenever Seraphine comes out on the Rift, there is a signature battle cry. Here we go. Oh my god. So this is super cool from NME because they are... I'm sure that this is a support Seraphine pick. I don't think this is going to be for Truth. So this is a matchup that you can somewhat be able to fight against Max Green's Nami. And you have now being able to save that Corki flex pick. It's a great option for NME because with that lock-in from Diana and the Wukong, there's such strong dive options that now you have some self-peel in that Featherstorm from Dienzio, but you also have this anti-dive option from the Encore.
There are some big things going on in this game, some big things at stake, of course. We still have that 10K prize pool that these teams are fighting for. But Rafa, we do see that Jarvan's locked in for NME, but it is going to go to a Louis, and Tybe is piloting his signature Camille. This is a very exciting prospect that we get to witness right now. And not only that, but Chuck is playing the Darius.
Chuck on the Darius, as some might say.
We got a lane swap.
Oh, he's opting into the 1v2.
Wow. This is really interesting. So, Tribe are the ones that are initiating this. This is something that we have seen in action mostly as the duo goes mid lane. But for Tribe, no. They are saying, instead, we're going to go up to the Baron lane. We're going to hang out there and see what we can do to shut down a Louis on Jarvan. It's a bit odd to me that this is the option that they're going for, because Chuck is playing this lane bully Darius, but maybe they've got more left that they're not quite telling us yet.
Here's my predictions.
What's your prediction?
I think it's because you don't want to lane against Xayah and Seraphine. For Old School and Max Green, I wonder if the fear is that the Seraphine and Xayah is actually not a winning lane for them. But now they have members coming up. Max Green has rotated over to the bottom side of the map. It's still a 4-on-2 in this dive. You have Truth, or starting, I should say, coming over, potentially making it a 3-on-4. But because there's still 2 members to 1, a Louis cannot contest for this wave.
Wow, so you're 100% right, Rafa. It's just to make sure that Old School is getting ahead on this Lucian pick. And he is remaining very ahead right now. He's not really getting ahead as far as the comparison against Dienzio, but a Louis is not getting anything on this Jarvan. And the extra turret damage up there in the Baron lane is huge.
Oh, Hexic Ultimatum is already available for Tybe, though, being able to hit level 5. It forces both of the summoner spells from starting, as Selma has to retreat. Ignite is ticking down. It's going to be first blood for Max Green.
Wow, Selma not able to survive the onslaught here. Old School and Max Green finally make their way down.
Oh, Colin comes out.
Look at Old School
doesn't have Featherstorm. They rakes him in and pulls it back with the Feather Collar, but Tybe doesn't have enough damage. Oh my god, Old School is so strong.
He's so sick on this Lucian, Rafa. This is insanity. This is 2 games in a row now, where his mechanics have been fully on display. And you can see that with the lane setup, he's able to arrive down in this Dragon lane with a full Caulfield's Warhammer and a Brawler's Glove. So he has an item advantage over his lane opponents. Now, even though that he didn't get that extra gold in the lane alone, the reset makes sure that he gets to come down, get some kills, and now that gold lead is really going to be flexed.
And now he has a full-on Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
Smacks, I'm going to say it. I think Old School is the messiah of Lucians that Alk Battery was waiting for. He was looking at all these other Lucian players who were losing on the pick, and he's like, no, man, I know in my heart that Lucian is way better than what we're seeing today. And the way that Old School is piloting this Lucian, I think this is the truth.
So you're saying that the Wild Rift Summoner series is a Lucian dating app for Alk Battery. Where Alk Battery's been swiping left for all these Lucians, but Old School's coming around, and Alec Battery all of a sudden is thinking about going steady.
You know, that's not the direction I was going to put it in, but, you know, I think
it fits.
You know, that's one way of putting it. I just imagine Alec Battery is now a very big fan of Old School.
I think he's swooning. This is perfect for him. But yeah, Old School looks so strong on this, and for Tribe now, they've got that extra turret damage in the Dragon lane. They win that turret war, and they get this Dragon. The scaling is online. They do have to worry about the turret trade up in the Baron lane, but you can see in the gold lead reflecting just how far ahead Tribe actually is because of these lane swaps.
Yeah, just looking at Old School's advantage versus Dienzio alone, solid 1,000. So the Essence Reaver finally is completed by Dienzio respectively, but you're going to have to deal with a couple of item components coming in for Old School as well. Maybe just a straight-up boots completion.
Now
a little bit of both?
Reset, it is a little bit of both. Boots and a Stinger. We've seen the tried and true combination. And look, it's a Stinger. I was right. Tried and true combination for Lucian is the Essence Reaver and the Solari Charge Blade. Very powerful stuff. We've seen Old School work very well with it. You know, it's unlike some of the Lucian builds that we've seen. I was a big fan of the Tank Buster one with Blade of the Ring King Black Cleaver. But when you're snowballing this much and you do have Nami, the extra attack speed and on-hit damage that you're getting from something like an Ardent Sensor and the Surging Tides is really nice.
Also, the ability haste that you're getting from both of those completed items is a really nice amount. It's what allows Old School to just completely dash around the opposition anytime you see him in these team fights as well. And for NME, they're struggling to keep up. They have had made item completions of their own, but compared to Tribe, who are all sitting on first items, apart from Mr. Chuck, who has opted in for a full boost completion and enchant. So we see some action onto the bottom side of the map. Tribe was trying to lock down Mr. Wukong here, as I was thinking of Winnie the Pooh, and I was like, it's like, no, it's tigers. It's tigers, man. It's got to get the full eye out. And for NME,
there are a lot of Ty sounds in this. Oh no, Old School.
There's Tybe and there's tigers.
He's alive.
But Tybe is getting locked up. It's a beautiful Nami disengaged with the tidal wave from Max Green. Shock now looking for resets. Has a full stack onto Louis. And gets the big dunk down.
Man, you can't even get out of that one if you're a Louis. The dunk is already in motion. There's no dodging out.
Woo! Okay, starting with the Moonfall. Finds Selma, just forces the flash out as Dienzio answers with a Featherstorm. But no more disengage options. There's no more Encore. There's no more Featherstorm. Turret will have to fall. Tribe just continuing to push the lead even further. 6K gold lead at 7.5 minutes, Max.
All the outer turrets now taken for Tribe. They can take that reset. They can get that Solari Charge Blade for Old School. Even though he's dashing in, he's very confident that he's able to make that play happen. Saved and bailed out by Max Green. Nonetheless, that was still a dash in from Lucian, which, you know, might be a red flag in the relationship with Alec Battery. We'll see how that relationship continues to blossom.
You know, I feel like you're really pushing, you're really shipping this between Old School
I'm
and
playing Cupid.
Okay, well, I have to see that Old School, first of all, is mutually interested. It's all about mutual interest here, Smax.
Very true. We don't want to force Old School to do anything that he doesn't want to do.
Well, right now, he wants to use the culling to force NME back. Package is available, though, for Truth, as he's kind of side gliding right now. Package comes through. Tidal Wave is going to split up the fight once again. Old School is locked in with the Hextech Ultimatum, and Truth finds the mark onto Old School. But now, it's the rest of the members of NME. They're ones pushing forward. Encore! Finds Chuck and picks him down.
He warned you, guys. He warned you that it was going to happen.
I was waiting, damn it.
Selma, it's your fault for picking this champion. It was inevitable. You should have known that Rafa was going to do this. I personally love it. Great job.
Thank you.
Perfect team fight call, Rafa.
Oh, you know, I like to be creative. Kind of just do things that no one else would ever do. And one of those is destroying the eardrums of multiple people in a team fight call.
My eardrums are blessed to have you for this very long day.
Poggers. In
this game 3, we're getting some trade backs from NME and showing us why they're actually picking this Seraphine. The teamfight prowess is not to be trifled with. The Encore, very potent ability, not only for teamfight calls, but also for teamfights in general.
NME being able to pick up the pieces despite losing out on the dragon. As Tiger is just going to force another engage. The Enzio answers back with a Feather Storm. Hextech Ultimatum is going to lock down members, but now starting goes back in. Moonfall finds the backline! And Truth is on the run. Culling comes through, forces the stasis out. Tribe is still available to potentially contest for this Baron steal, but Tribe are working with a numbers advantage after losing D'Enzio and Selma.
We are now witnessing the downside of Seraphine, where the ultimate does have a crazy long cooldown. It's still not up, even on the death timer. Ooh, Chuck keep him out. Wow, what a hook.
Chuck is able to just slink him right back into his waiting arms. Chuck is looking for the decimate. Doesn't find time quite yet as he used the stasis to buy some time. Sarah Cage will pop up. Apprehend comes out, decimating, finds the mark once again, but doesn't get the dunk down. He's gonna fall. But Baron buff is available. Encore doesn't quite hit starting or Max Green. They're gonna make their retreat out, but still the chase is coming out. Tribe with the tactical sweep is gonna slow down starting. He's gonna give his life as Max Green will be the only one that makes it out.
Okay, so it is still a couple of Baron buffs taken by Tribe. They're still able to have this as a tool to use for Siege later, but NME, teamfight is gigantic for them, and they do end up using their Encore even though it doesn't hit onto anyone, so they have to wait for teamfights yet again. We already talked about the cooldown being very long. NME, they can regroup, they can restack up, and they've already got these side waves pushing in, so they can afford to reset off of this. Maybe start pressuring these side lanes. They're feeling more confident in themselves after that.
Baron buff still on their side, though, between Tiger and Max Green. Going to use this time to try and push back the minion waves, look for any turret trades, but this package being available from Truth means that Tribe cannot overextend their welcome.
All right, Tribe. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh god, knock up, apprehend, pulls back the members, Encore is not available as Selma just gets deleted before it even comes off cooldown. The package was available from Truth, but it's not going to be a 1v9 ability. Tybe, he's still alive, but Truth is dead. And it's just enemies scattered to the winds. Tiger's running away from D'Enzio as he's going to try to find some way to be able to equalize things, but it's still in Tribe's favor.
You think D'Enzio pulled his punches because they were former teammates, Rafa?
Oh no,
I wouldn't. 1 HP.
Oh no. That it's quite the opposite. D'Enzio was gunning down for Tiger because he knows that he wanted to be the one that gave him the killing blow.
Well, Tiger's
come back here
nonetheless. Yeah, Tribe now with 3 dragons to their name, and if this continues, Rafa, they've broken our script. If NME doesn't win this game, then it's not just an alternating games. So Tribe, they're going against the script right now. Actually winning this game is pretty big.
It does also put them at match point here, Smacks. They have about a 7,000 gold lead, almost at 14 minutes into the game. Tribe are slowly but surely extending their lead. And with each fight that goes in their favor, the only hope that NME can rely on is the fact that Truth is scaling up. D'Enzio is scaling up as well. Selma has finally been able to complete this Ardent Sensor as they were sitting on a bunch of item components for a majority of the fights, going for an Oblivion Orb just to have access Yes. Going for access on some grievous wounds, as there is quite an extensive amount of healing between Darius and the Nami.
Tribe feeling confident yet again, starting up on this Baron. You're not going to want to keep this up, though. You don't want to coin flip it. Enemy is in the area. Everyone alive. Have Encore. Have all the ultimates, really. Tribe, they have to keep that in consideration. But just making sure that enemy knows, hey, we could do Baron. We can go and click it right now. What are you going to do with that?
Something I'm going to notice, none of these teams have taken the time to set up minion waves.
Goodness.
So Louis, Stark's Gauge is already being popped up. Selma has to use the empowered healing shields to be able to keep the Louis topped off. Tidal Wave comes out, finds only Truth on the backline. Tybe has to power out the stasis. XX Ultimatum is popping up. It's a huge encore, but is it going to be enough as a disengage option, as Chuck is already finding resets, and the damage is just too much to contain from Tribe.
Starting, he's going to die to the turret. No, he's in the stasis. It's a 5-0
Oh my god!
for Tribe. Look how low those health bars are. Rafa, can they end the game right now? They've got this minion wave.
20 seconds. It's theirs.
Very quickly. They've got it. Game
Match.
3 is going over to Tribe.
Match point now on the line for Tribe Gaming, Smacks. NME. The road to a Game 5 begins now. Their backs are against the wall, but Tribe, not even the Seraphine pocket pick was enough, Smacks, as in the early game, they had an incredible macro play and swapping Old School and accelerating him. So off of that reset, just a small item component advantage. I think that's something that is so cool and so neat in Wild Rift that these players are picking up on and making great use out of, just getting so much minion wave and turret plate gold in the early game. You come back, the NZO doesn't have a chance to recall. Still sitting on a longsword, whereas Old School comes in, he's almost level 5. He's sitting on a Caulfields and a Brawlers, and you could just start fighting right there, and you'll win just based off of stats.
If there's one thing I've learned from the teams in the Wild Rift Summoner series leading up to this major, is that if you are the Dragon Laner on your team, you don't actually have to go to the Dragon Lane. You can go anywhere. Anywhere on the map at all. The world is your Dragon Lane oyster. And I think Dragon Lane is really just a state of mind at the end of the day. Because if you're... It's not like the bottom lane anymore, you know? It's the lane specifically where the dragon is, because, of course, it flips around if you're on red side. And if as long as you're there for the dragon fight, then aren't you in the dragon lane after all? What if the dragon lane truly is the river? And the dragon lane and the baron lane are both the same thing, and they can just coexist. And the mid lane, really, because the mid lane, if you're just going the other way... So here's what the game wants you to think mid lane is. But really, isn't this also a mid lane?
We are reaching existential levels.
And that was my last brain cell. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Well, Smacks is clocking out. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like I'm on my own. Smacks is just going to join me in the peanut gallery as we... Goodbye, Smacks. Chat, say goodbye to Smacks. All right, guys. Now it's just me. Show is all about me. You know what? Don't worry. I have another guest. Actually, I can't use that guest. We've already retired his uses. He is too tired as well. So it is just going to be me. And now, what I will tell you, chat, gather around. We have some story time between these two teams. NME.
So let's say gather round. I'm gathered.
Yeah, gather. See? I have successfully pulled Smacks from the others of no brain cells.
No. Tell your story. Keep going.
Oh, the story? Well, yeah. Let me tell you this story, Smacks. When there was a hero by the name of Samuel Benjamin. And Samuel Benjamin
sounds familiar.
Had been griefed in a solo queue game where he wanted to lock in Ziggs support.
It sounds
because
very
Ziggs is very broken. But then the Dragon Laner said, "No, you can't play Ziggs support. I'm going to ban it." And Samuel said, "Well, this sucks. And then the Dragon Laner proceeded to lock in Ahri as the Dragon Lane instead. And at that point, Smax said, well, if you're going to pick Ahri Dragon Lane, I might as well just pick Rengar support. Samuel, however, did not succumb to such... how should I say this? Hostage-level situations, although he was the one being held hostage. And surprisingly enough, the Braum Ahri Dragon duo lane was surprisingly effective. Much more effective than some of the other lanes, like our Tryndamere that was running it down in the Baron lane. But the point of this story, Smax, is that, to relate back to what you said about Dragon Lane just being a state of mind, is that Tribe Gaming and NME are kind of pushing the boundaries of what we expect the standards for competitive metas and strategies are going to be. As Tribe Gaming are able to avoid what could have been a more dastardly level matchup in this macro play. And so now it is pushing NME to now think outside of the box if they want to bring us to a game 5. Otherwise, Tribe are right where they want to be, and that is ahead in the mental warfare.
You know, Rafa, what you neglected to tell everyone is that this story actually comes with a picture book, and that's right here, where you get to see right down there. That I was playing.
Oh, you were playing Alistar, not
playing
Braum.
Alistar. There's my Ahri bot laner. There's Rafa playing Graves, and here is our trolling Tryndamere that lost us the game.
I'm glad that the names were faded out, so we just didn't start a witch hunt on this poor Tryndamere. I mean, like, we were pretty upset, obviously, and I was like, man, I feel kind of bad for Tryndamere. And then Tryndamere all chatted and was like, I wish Graves had ganked my lane once. Like, okay, in what world do I gank your lane when you are overextended and then you get yourself ganked multiple times? I'm trying to save Smax. I mean, and also, I'm in a duo queue, so anytime you're playing with a jungler and the jungler is duo or trio queue with other two people, you might as well just accept you're not getting any support whatsoever. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. You just have to play weak side. You are subjugated to the island.
Yeah, he picked Tryndamere, too. Like, how are you even ganking for Tryndamere? What's he going to do? Put a chicken over their head? Oh.
Mocking shout. It slows them. Oh, man. No, it's okay.
There's a reason we haven't seen any Tryndamere play in the Wild Rift Summoner series, Rafa. Champion is trash. But you know what? We thought similar things about Seraphine, honestly. And we did just see that one get pulled out by NME. And the team fights were pretty good. I think the Tribe Gaming just had already built up quite a big lead. And like you said, Old School's laning was so sick. And I think for NME, they now really have to consider what they can do about the solution, or if they just have to ban it.
I think at this point, it has become too strong of a pick for Old School to reliably have in their grasp, unless NME go to blue side and they pick the Lucian for themselves. But for them, I think there's just been other priorities. For NME, you have to consider the Corki has always been the trade that they opt into, and Tribe has firmly believed that Lucian is the better pick. And to be fair, Smax, earlier today, when we were looking at the stats, Corki had the superior win rate. So across the performance board of other players in this tournament, it had seemed that Corki was the better performing marksman. But when it comes to Old School, his numbers on Lucian are quite the opposite in terms of the story here.
This is just such a mechanically intensive champion that we're seeing from Old School. And look at that. It's not even his most played champion. He's playing a lot of Varus, too.
Yeah. Both him and Dienzio are spamming the Varus, man.
That's why it's been banned in all these games, you know? It is the best champion, or the best marksman. What was he saying? The best ADC in Wild Rift. That's the thumbnail. So.
That's right.
See, he doesn't even say Dragon Lane. He says ADC. So, Dragon Lane is a state of mind, Rafa. I was right. Dienzio is proving it to us. See, that last brain cell of mine
It finally came
You know?
through.
Yeah.
It tied all of the particles in your brain into one, and it brought the atom cells to think for one more highlight. I think the other thing, as we are getting into draft soon, ladies and gentlemen, just waiting on the players to take their time in getting their last few draft thoughts and prep out before we head into what potentially could be the last game of the series between the two teams. Looking at ways to expand upon what have been Dienzio's and NME's greatest strengths. When they have reliable engage and they are able to find the accelerated gold points in their favor, they're the ones forcing the fights. But then when Tribe open up the map and they are able to accelerate gold into old school primarily, the way that they are able to group around objectives has been almost incredibly difficult for the side of NME to really deal with. And I think something that has not been taken advantage of, Smacks, as well, is whenever objectives fights comes out, both of the teams just group up. No one is really setting up minion waves. I think that is the only thing that, if Cloud9 were in this game, they would have been handling better. Obviously, NME were the better team that got into grand finals, but there's never a time where both of these teams are setting up huge minion waves to start slowly building up in order to prepare for the dragon takes or baron takes. Usually, minion waves on the side are just equally matched, and then you just have Tribe and NME 5-on-5 ARAM in the middle.
Well, you can play ARAM in Wild Rift, so maybe while Tribe Gaming were watching NME take down Cloud9, they were warming up in Howling Abyss. Is it called Howling Abyss? Is it Wild Abyss?
I think it's still ARAM, just in Wild Rift.
Well, yeah, I know that, but did they change the map name?
No, I think it's still Howling Abyss. I don't think it's Wild Abyss. That'd be funny, though.
Wild Abyss would be cool.
Yeah. Or maybe you just you look up the thesaurus for howling and just, you know what? I'll do it right now.
Yelling.
Yelling Abyss.
Shouting.
Baying
the shouting
Abyss.
chasm.
The baying chasm.
Wait, that's kind of what we are. That's very close to what we do. Shout chasm.
Oh, look at that! Wow. Well played, Mr. Smacks. So far,
title. Wow.
Yeah, we're able to put the pieces together. As yes. It is very late. First of all, applause to Smacks, as we are. It is currently 1:13 a.m. where Smacks lives, and anywhere else on the East Coast.
Yep. Before I got into the finals, I was like, Cassidy, we're gonna be up for a while, and they were like, yeah, if I fall asleep on the couch, just wake me up and get me to bed, please. So here we are. But you know what? I'm having the time of my life right now. This is an amazing finals. Wouldn't have it any other way. And
I'm having a good time, man. I just want to
honestly, I'm hoping the enemy win this one. I want to go to a game 5.
So
my sleep schedule is, just let it go.
I mean, we'll destroy our sleep schedules for a hype grand finals.
Oh yeah, absolutely, any day. I'll trade that any day of the week.
Now for NME though, the first change and adaptation has been made, Mr. Smacks. They have actually just elected into banning the Corki away, which is curious because Tribe Gaming have never prioritized the Corki. They've always gone for the Lucian. And now if NME are setting up for a Lucian ban here, so that they don't have to deal with either Corki or Lucian being traded. But then in terms of marksman priorities, it does bring us down quite the list. There's no more Senna either or Varus. So now you're looking at things like Kaisa, Xayah, and Ezreal, I think, are the 3 that come to mind.
Yeah, we haven't seen much Ezreal at all. I honestly, at this point, would be more surprised to see Ezreal than something like a Jinx. But
we'll see if
Old School and Dienzio are interested in that. Yeah, Lucian is banned. This leaves open the Rakan that Tribe have been insisting on banning against Selma for a while, and I mean, we haven't really seen Selma play this against Cloud9 or in this series either, mostly because it was banned. But it's definitely a pick that he is very comfortable on and did play earlier today. So definitely understandable that Tribe would want to take that one away, but they didn't this time.
The Camille priority, though, for flex between Tigers and Chuck. Tribe did get a chance to get the Camille in Game 3 that we just witnessed. However, it did not net NME a win, as that third game victory from Tribe Gaming, far more convincing than the Game 2, where NME did have a decent lead in the mid-game. This time around, no Camille, no single target lockdown, but this does open the table for Gragas priority. You can also potentially go for what NME's first choice of marksman is just going to be the Xayah.
Xayah insta-locked, one of those champions that can be difficult to take down for divers, and I mean for Tribe, 100% of their champions that they picked so far have been divers. It's only Camille, but it's a good thing to think about. Jarvan is still available if Tribe are wanting to go that direction for the Baron lane. Typically, we've seen Chuck just take the Darius, so I'm expecting probably that one over Jarvan, but that is a possibility if they're feeling tanky. Nah, it is just going to be Darius, and I think we forgot about Kai'Sa there, Rafa. We've got this champion for old school, and it fits with that dive strategy that we were referring to earlier.
Oh, we mentioned it. Said Xayah, Kai'Sa, Ezreal, I think.
Oh, maybe I just got lost in the Xayah.
Yeah. Kai'Sa, Xayah. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah. Tribe Gaming already committing for more forward a composition here. You can't really kite backwards with Darius.
There's that recall.
The Lovers duo has been locked in, and we have seen some spectacular recon plays throughout this major tournament, and Tribe is going to have access to the Wukong once again, as even though Tribe making a big name for himself in the solo queue ladders and on the Twitch plays for Camille, the reliable engage that is available from the Wukong, and oh boy, we're getting the starting Akali, but this is a blind pick. Truth has counter pick options.
That's why NME is still remaining on this red side, and why both teams are wanting to stay there. But okay, it's not going to be anything that is a direct Akali counterpick. No, Truth just going back down to this Katarina. I mean, he's made it work on the brink of defeat and on the brink of being eliminated before against Cloud9. Why stop now, Rafa? Truth back on Cat.
I mean, to be fair, NME were so close to winning on Game 2, and it was just Tribe being able to stuff the engage and the picks right around a crucial Elder Dragon spawn. I think NME, in their minds, they're saying that this is the best that we've ever gotten close to with a win, and it's off the back of Truth's Katarina, so we just need to... We have to believe that we can make the engages work. We can make the team fights work in our favor. As already 4-on-4, but a 4-man knocker from Selma.
That it doesn't mean much, but it's cool.
Yeah, that was sick. Just there's no other level 1 abilities that could really follow up on the engage, despite it being kick-ass.
Quick, end the game! Selma, most damage in the game on support! I always love to get those damage charts going. Maybe that's why I like Zig's support so much. But for Tribe, they have remained with this strategy of sending their duo lane up to the Baron lane, and NME have matched this, and we're completely Australia style this time.
Yes,
flipped
sir.
Everything on its head.
Shout out to anyone from the Oceania region or even the Philippines region who are tuning in, as I believe it is now. It is slightly early noon or just before noon. I think it's a 12-hour difference over there. So good morning to them.
Good morning to our good friend Skimmy as well.
Hell yeah.
I think he's the only person in Australia that I know. So
he's not even from Australia, dude. He's from New Zealand.
Yeah, but I said in Australia, not from. Maybe he's in New Zealand right now. I don't actually know.
I thought he was.
Isn't he doing LCO?
Yeah.
I guess they're not in studio, are they?
Okay. Well.
Anyway,
that remains to be seen. We are really grasping at trying to find a location as Truth finds out Tigers. Nice Shumpo dashes over the tactical sweep, but the flash from Tiger is going to force Truth's hand. But remember, this is a barrier. Ignite Katarina still has Shumpos to be able to get out of harm's way. Tive getting pressed here. But it's a nice knock-up from the members of NME. Selma with a beautiful re-engage finds first blood. And now they're fighting over this blue buff, though. Health bars are low. Ignite has already been used from Truth. The smite comes out. I believe Tive was able to secure it.
And that tornado from Max Green was really sick, but not enough to save the jungler there. Tigers falls. And yeah, we see that kill does go over to Truth, who again is starting up with that sword in the lane. Oh man, if starting does this, he might get knocked up by Selma. All right, not going to go for it. Not going to go for any risky trades against Truth, who again still has that kill immediately starting off the game. And can go back to picking up his item components. We've seen the pendant and the mask started. It's again going to be that pendant.
Truth already starting off the game on a right footing for NME. Yeah. It doesn't give them a huge gold lead, but just having that Prophet pendant is the extra magic penetration to make that first Death Lotus really hit.
It will be the first one, like you said. We haven't seen any usage of that, mostly just because the last fight he was level 4. We're starting off the game very quick. Well, that's just how these games have gone, really. But other than that jungle exchange, we're kind of just waiting for things to happen still. I feel I'm still on the edge of my seat waiting, but you know, we're 4 minutes in now, and we've only had the one fight, so hopefully these neutral objectives can get me going. I'm still worried that I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm just kidding.
No, there's no way. I have too much anxiety right now to actually fall asleep. Sometimes I hold myself back and I'm restraining from using too much energy because I don't want to. How do I say this? I don't want to be tricked into believing one certain outcome too soon. Because we've seen how back and forth these games can be, how quickly the momentum can shift over from one team to another. And so we might believe that one team is in the lead, but then immediately a fight breaks out and it is completely swapped.
For legal reasons, if you hear me saying that I am going to fall asleep, that is a joke. If you are our production team and our bosses, wisdom here.
It's okay, Max.
I am joking.
You don't need to explain yourself. This has been a long day. I know that we are focusing all the brain power right now into ensuring that this grand finals can be seen through to the very end. And I have to imagine that if we came in on the second shifts, Max, these players have been playing all day. So if anyone is exhausted and mentally drained, it has got to be the players. And the fact that they are pushing their limits for us in this last series for this 10K prize pool, that is a feat, an achievement in itself. Mm-hmm.
Definitely is. And they've already locked themselves in for the next major too, and it is the second major. So it's the word 2 with 2 O's and also the number 2. It's crazy how the English language works. And for Tribe, they're on that brink of closing this one out. They definitely came into this. Well, hold on a second.
Ooh, Selma finds a nice engage on the old school, but he is able to immediately flash away. Truth doesn't get in time. Hextech Ultimatum is going to lock him up. Cyclone comes out, but doesn't really find anyone. Old school is on the retreat, forcing the barrier out. The next Cyclone, a knock-up, finds the mark. Truth gets another kill for themselves. Enemy still pressing forward on the advantage.
Oh, man.
As Alui goes in for the body slam, goes a little wide, starting now dancing with the rest of the Wolves. That is NME. Shuck is here for reinforcements.
NME, that's another pick that they've been able to find, but if you look over at the gold, it's still dead even, which just goes to show that Tribe have found laning advantages and found their way into the snowball that they're still holding on to, even even without getting any kills, that early turret that they found in the Baron lane is going to be big. And we've already seen Darius players have such great success in these fights. You know, Rafa, I am definitely interested as to what makes barrier so sick on these champions, because I know in PC League, Ghost is a really big deal for Darius. Like oftentimes you have to take teleport in top lane, but Darius sometimes cheats and he takes Ghost instead.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I remember.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, one of the other more prominent Darius players that we've had in the qualifiers and the major leading up was Zenith God.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran Ghost Flash. And it's like, oh man, he starts popping off in a fight and he's going to get the Ghost buff extended during that duration. Yeah. And then you can just run through people. But I think considering how deadly early ganks and dives can be and 1v1s, the barrier has just seen so much value in being able to prevent those and being able to almost bait people into thinking that you're getting super low. They forget about the barrier existing as a summoner spell. Yeah. And even taking Fleet of Footwork as well. It just goes to show that Tribe Gaming were potentially opting into mismatched lanes where Darius had to be in a 1v1, or 1v2, I should say. The fact that NME opted into the 2v2 instead, and Tribe, thankfully for Chuck, doesn't have to be in a difficult laning phase, as he has a better time against Gragas as he would versus this the Dragon Duo lane. But the Dragon has spawn smacks, and this is where NME, they have to be crucial about the picks that they make.
Yeah. And for Chuck, one shield isn't enough either. He also has the Sterix to keep himself alive. Does eat a grand entrance from Selma. No charm quite yet. Still has access to the quickness. Tribe, they're thinking about just barreling down mid lane too with this Rift Herald, but no
Look at Dienzio. Dienzio has been cut off right here. Featherstorm is exchanged with Hexa Ultimatum as Tigers is just keeping him at bay. But look at the resets coming in from Truth. No one was keeping him pinned down. He finds a double easily. Rift Herald has been expended by the members of Tribe trying to see if they can buy enemies' attention away. But because it's in the middle of the lane, it doesn't get any value. Enemy take the numbers down off a Tribe. They take the Rift Herald down, and this Dragon is theirs to claim.
We've already seen it 3 times now. Our 4th showing for Truth on this Katarina, but again and again and again, I'm still astounded that he's able to make this pick work in these games, Rafa. The team fights are astounding. And, I mean, I just love that word, but it's so applicable for Truth. This champion that really only provides damage is finding all of these angles and all of these times where NME has all this lockdown, and in a big AoE fashion too. It seems like Rakan and Wukong are just the perfect champions to pair up with Katarina. Another fight goes over to NME, and this time they actually do get that objective with it. They find 2 Drakes now for themselves. And Truth, snowballing enough, now has 2 items. The spell crits are online with Infinity Orb.
Yeah, that execution damage is huge, but Truth has been routed off by the members of Tribe. Hextech Ultimatum, Chuck pulling him right back in. Even the escape with the Shumpo is not enough. It's a huge shutdown that goes over into the pockets of Old School.
First kill of the game for Tribe now, too, and only takes 1 kill for them to be confident enough to start up this bear. They've got it now at half HP.
They're burning it down super really fast, Max. Yeah, Tybe can still get over the wall. He flashes over Cyclone on multiple members. 1,000 HP. Who's going to smite it down? Wow. It's still going over to the side of Tigers, but at this point, I can't tell who's really winning out in this fight. Starting has finally arrived to the party. Perfect execution. Gets damage down onto Selma, but it's still a fight 1 for NME.
Oh my god, Tribe playing this game on the edge. Only 1 kill, and you go for Baron? That's so incredibly risky, but they're feeling like they're not ahead enough in this game. Tigers?
Whoa, Tigers is actually getting a decent amount of damage down, locking down a Louis when the turret aggro was targeting onto him. God. Tigers, but you're the only one with Baron buff, but he still lives! Thanks to the stone plate!
Oh, Tigers. I'm getting some heart palpitations right now, Rafa. This is insanity. How is he able to do all of this? Stealing away that Baron buff with the coin flip, surviving the fight, and now this? Killing a Louis? Oh,
Tigers.
And they've got all these members in mid lane, too. They're going to try to take down this turret, but here comes Truth.
Tigers really pushing the limits here, but here comes
God.
Selma. They just set up easily for Truth to just get multiple resets once again. Old School is left out to dry, has a flash over the wall. Tribe is still on the chase. Cyclone could look for a Nimbus strike. Not going to be able to close the distance here. No dragons to take, though. No turrets to be able to siege onto as... See, Tigers potentially getting rounded off in a 1v4. Looks for damage on the Truth. Hextech Ultimatum already expended. Flashes away, pushes the...
Wow.
Whoa! Hook shot! And then Explosive Cast kind of helps him out here. The NZO is going to try to rout him off. Feather with the Blade Caller is going to root him down. Old School going for the Killer Instinct, but this is just a 1-on-5. I don't know if this was the best decision.
I know if it was the best decision. The answer is no. That was not the best decision right there for Old School, and he gets a taste of the question mark emote yet again from DNCO. NME, they're clawing back into this game. And I mean, they've been winning this game, but into this series, Rafa, they're still at that match point. But these team fights are crazy, and we're seeing why Selma's Rakan has been banned in most of the games of this series. 100% kill participation, going for the Enchanter style with the Ardent Sensor. But it doesn't even matter, because he's landing all of the crowd control. It doesn't matter if he's squishy on this Rakan. Everyone's dead by the time they can even hit him.
When we talked about what were enemies' win conditions in prior games before and how they were able to really find ways to put themselves in winning points in the game to set up their primary win condition in Truth's Katarina, they needed reliable engage. The Malphite kept being banned away from Tribe, but the Rakan was left up because NME ate the two bans of Corki and Lucian. Tribe definitely didn't need to, but the Rakan being left open on the table. Even though it's tricky to make Rakan work, Selma is doing wonders with it right now, as starting might be in a huge bad spot. Flash out, perfect execution. Still could be used for the second cast, but it's already gone. Truth is able to follow up. It gets a rampage, and now there's members scattered here from Tribe, all left alone on the Baron side of the map. Tigers throws down Hextech Ultimatum, but he's already gone. Chuck is on the run, tries to throw the Proto Belt out. Maxarine trying to dissuade them with Monsoon, but just only pushes back one member. And NME, they want to go to a Game 5, Smacks.
I want them to, too, at this point. Enemies clutching this game out. And they've started up on this Baron. I don't think Tribe can actually steal this one away this time around. NME. They are taking this game to the brink. They are taking us all the way to the maximum amount of games that we could have possibly had on the broadcast today, Rafa. That's so insane. Every single series going the distance.
The script couldn't
How does that even happen?
The script couldn't have written itself better, Smacks. We went from having sweeps in yesterday's day for the first part of the major into now full game series for every single one. It has just been back to back to back to back to back bangers all across. We are getting the full package. We're getting the full premium show for Wild Rift Summoner Series' first major event.
Yeah, and I remember as Tybe is trying to angle aggressively for a Cyclone, I remember when we were talking about what this show could be, and Selenity was like, man, if this goes the distance, Sam is up until 2.
Well, that just might happen, as starting has no way out from the aggression from NME. We have Chuck, who is trying to push in and force a base race here, but at this point, you can have a Louis stop him in his tracks, and we're going the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta pull out the Silver Scrapes. I hear them singing, and I hear them blaring the tune. We're going to a Game 5, man.
Be woo woo. Be woo. Be woo.
Yes, sir.
Be woo woo.
Yes, sir.
Be woo woo.
You know, I don't know if I don't think I know how to play it on the Ocarina. I'm gonna try to.
Oh, do it.
Off. I was close. I don't know by heart the notes on the Ocarina, but I was just getting ready to. We're not gonna hold you to it anymore, folks. We have our last break of the show, and it's going to be for Game 5. So if you got to go somewhere, if you got to go use... It's Game 5, gamers. And we are going the distance. We already know we are losing our minds between me and Smacks. I bet the audience in the chat is losing their minds as Tribe and NME have been just grueling and dueling it out to the very bitter end. Honestly, I wouldn't have asked for any other way. I know many others probably would have preferred a 3-0 as we are getting very late, but you know what? This is where we get to see the players fully tested at their limits, Max, where you are seeing players being pushed to the fullest and seeing who has the best endurance to survive at the end of the road.
I've got one last stat for you for today, Rafa, and that stat is that this is the 20th Wild Rift game that we have broadcasted today on the stream.
Let's go!
We're about to get into 20 of them. I don't even know what to say about that other than the fact that that is a very large number.
First of all, that deserves a high five. Good, Max. I'm proud of you, man. Let's go. Let's go. We are going the full distance. Before we get any further and into the final draft phase between these two teams, I want to give a massive shout out to not only all the teams that competed in our first Wild Rift Summoner Series, brought to you by Riot, Nerd Street, and Wisdom, by the way, in our first major event. Thank you to all the players that have been participating and really showing their fullest and giving us such exciting games, especially on this last day of the first major. Shoutouts to our wonderful production staff and broadcast crew who have been working tirelessly behind the scenes. Some, as I've told about Smacks, who are on the East Coast, it is approaching 2 a.m. now, and they are still giving it their all to make sure that we can see through the end of one final series in this best of 5, in this grand finals. Everything that for the past 2 weeks, Max, that all these teams have come together through 2 qualifying events to really just bring us to the very bitter end. A bittersweet end, I should say.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just like you said, we love all of our people working behind the scenes. And you know what? Just to prove it to you all that it is in fact 2 a.m., you can see that it is pitch black outside.
It is dark.
It is dark. Also, there's my cat tower. It's nighttime, okay? We're in the dead of night right now, and we're still going with this best of 5 finals. We made it to Game 5. Tribe Gaming, NME, couldn't have had it any other way. These teams are so competitive, so back and forth, and the rivalry is there. I feel like this rivalry is going to be here for the entire circuit at this point.
At this point, Tribe Gaming and NME, whoever wins at this point, we already know between Cloud9 and Immortals, these top 4 teams will already auto-qualify into the second major. But when we're looking at the perspective of overall narratives and teams to watch, it is these 2 teams by far. These 2 teams have clearly cemented themselves as the best above everyone else. Cloud9 did take a very grueling best of 3 almost to NME, fell in the end. Immortals also the same. And that just makes me even more excited to see more major action when the next major at the end of the month comes up. And hopefully we got to see a matchup where we see Cloud9 get a rematch of Tribe, because they got 2-0'd in that matchup when we saw in the upper bracket. Immortals, I want to see them taking their chance at Tribe Gaming and NME again.
Oh yeah. We've got a lot of gameplay left ahead of us in the grand scope of the Wild Rift Summoner Series. And, I mean, we're not going to be done until October for all of that stuff, with a big championship at the end. And Oh man, this game is just so good. I'm so glad that we get to cover this sick game, and all these players are doing so well. This is just amazing, and man, it's too good. I don't have any more words to give for that, but
It
I've
is
got a lot of
completely.
words for the draft.
It is understandable, Smacks. We are pushing sleep deprivation at this point. So at this point, whatever commentary that I get out of you, my friend, it is going to be the most wholesome and the most genuine. It may not be the best way of words, but it will be the rawest of emotions at this point. It is all feeling. It is all momentum at this point. And for NME, Tribe Gaming, both backs against the wall. You look at the 2-2 score. It is a best of 5. Wash all that away now. It is now a best of 1 because it is one more nexus from either team to clinch the majority of that 10K prize pool and to cement themselves as the current best team in North America for Wild Rift.
Yeah, it's the entire region, right? This is fighting for that title, and I mean, these teams have already qualified for that major. They already don't have to play through that qualifier. So this is really just all about that prize pool and that glory. And both of these squads fighting tooth and nail to do it. Tribe Gaming now on the red side after that game. They did get to choose. They did lose out on game 4. Back over to the dedicated comfort zone, it feels like, for both squads. Preferring that side. Malphite off the board. And for NME, it is still a bit surprising that they're taking away Ziggs, but Tribe are going to feel great about that. They can use that Ziggs ban to remove big picks that they've been eyeing, like this Senna that's probably going to come out, and probably the Rakan again, if I had to guess.
I think the other thing that is curious too is that Tribe Gaming elected for the red side going into this game. So they want not only the counter response of getting 2 priority picks for themselves instead of just 1, as what we have seen from NME, they're willing to let go the Camille. The Camille, I feel at this point, doesn't really carry the same weight as it does anymore. Tribe Gaming understanding and isolating picks that give reliable engage, such as that Wukong. Maybe the Rakan follows up because they don't fear the Katarina when there is no crowd control to set up the fights for truth to start resetting in.
They have to make a choice between Senna and Rakan at this point now, though. Both Selma's champions. Now, I say that, and Dienzio was the one who played Senna in Game 1, but Selma, lots of comfort on both Rakan and Senna on this patch. Varus off the board yet again. No option for either team to pick that one down. And we've seen again and again that the big Baron laners that come out when this does happen are the Gragas and the Darius for Alui and Chuck, respectively.
Tribe, there are picks like, as you said, the Senna, the Rakan. Corki would also be available.
That's true.
But, as we have seen, Tribe Gaming have been able to deal with the Corki.
It's not true anymore.
All right. So, I think this is what happens. So, Tribe Gaming are knowing that you either get Rakan or Senna. If NME goes for the Senna, Tribe Gaming immediately answer with Xayah Rakan. You got the Lovers Duo bot lane. You're going to have an insane priority for old school Max Green. You'll have great setup for Max Green on the Rakan. If they take the Rakan, they still pick the Xayah to deny the Lovers Duo away and the setup from Dienzio and Selma. And you go Xayah Senna, I guess.
NME, though, they're liking their chances with Senna. Whether it's going to go to Dienzio or Selma is yet to be determined. But either way, this is their first time since Game 1 that NME will be locking in this champion. And that Game 1 was one of the most dominant that we've seen in this series entirely. NME doing a great job in that one. And it's mostly off the back of this Senna pick. So I like this priority for them. Tribe, though, they now get to answer likely with that Gragas. There it is, and they do get Camille too.
Since the Senna is already locked in, they suspect that they don't need to go for the Lovers Duo bottom lane. Just going for the Camille priority, also knowing that Wukong is no longer available. So this really, in terms of priority junglers for utility, you're probably going to look for the Jarvan. I wonder if you also go for, if you want to set up Jarvan as your main answer into the Gragas for the Baron lane, as Louis has run it both times, and you go for something like a Xin Zhao as well. Not quite.
Jarvan Galio as the lock-in. NME have this crazy engaged combination to use with Cataclysm and Hero's Entrance, and the Galio Senna is potentially going to be the lane yet again that Dienzio and Selma performed so well on in that game one, like we were highlighting. Galio's still that flex pick, though. You can send him to Truth. It's been a nice counter pick into some of the things that Tribe have been going for, but for Tribe, I'm feeling like they will probably just save that mid lane pick for last, as they still don't have their bot lane, and there it is. Just like you called out earlier, Zyrakan is the lock, and yeah, they save that mid lane for later, wanting to see if it is Galio mid or if they will go back to Galio Senna.
Do we see Tribe keep this Jarvan for themselves, and we give Aloy? Oh, yep. It's going to be. So Aloy is going to, Louis, I should say, will now have their hands on the Darius, and Truth will be going back to Diana and starting. This is the Orianna. So when we talk about scaling, Smacks, Orianna, the big shockwaves don't really come in and do massive amount of damage until you start hitting that 3-item power spike, because you do have to go for, as we've seen Orianna's go for, Seraph's, Liandry's, then into Death Cap. And then if they have magic resist, then you need to Void Staff. But when it finally comes online, the Orianna shockwaves just hit like a truck. You look at enemies' composition, though, you have so much early agency. The Jarvan can start being active as early as level 2. A Louis on the Darius has a lot of kill pressure and threat in this lane. But as we've seen games go on, everyone comes to the party here in the mid lane and in 20 seconds, Max.
Yeah, absolutely do. I love the fact that both Louis and Chuck have just traded their champions, because Chuck has been playing this Darius and Louis on Gragas, but completely swapped up. Max Green going for the same flashy grand entrance that we saw Selma do, but only gets 2 members instead of 4. Not quite the same.
And it's so weird, Smacks, to see. Well, it's weird, but it's fascinating to see the evolution of the level 1s throughout this entire major. Because we had Cloud9 go for the duo mid lane, and then we had laners try to respond to it by either answering with the duo mid lane of their own, or they would have 3 members to get the first push before going back to a side lane. And now we've just had Tribe and NME send out 4 members, 4 against 1, to be able to immediately push for a wave and then look for early vision to scout out the enemy jungler. And now you just have 4 on 4 so that no one gets vision of the enemy jungler.
Both junglers saying hey to up at level 3 and wanting to keep that wave pushed in, waiting for the Scuttle Crab to spawn. It's looking like the Dragonside Scuttle is going to be the main point of contention. They're hatching a ward.
Ooh! Flash might come out from Tigers. He's already used the hook shot back into the wall. Finding flashes over. Truth is going to follow up, but First Blood is awarded over to Old School. Tigers is finally traded out by the members of Truth. Genzio on the wrong side of the tracks, however, is isolated by the Lovers duo bottom lane as Tribe and Truth turn their attention over to starting. Mid lane is traded back and forth, but Lovers duo bottom lane is no joke. Knockup lands on the 2. It's crucial. Pulling back for the Blade Caller. Feathers land. Barrier will only delay the inevitable for Truth, as Tribe is now trying to get out of harm's way. This is an explosive early game smash.
Does he go for it under the turret? He does!
Oh, but the barrier from! Oh, my goodness! Not enough!
Oh, no.
It was just a shield. Oh, no. Starting's got it. He's got it.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
I probably should have just recalled after that. Lucky break, I would say, from Max Green not getting the kill. You know, I appreciate that neither team is shying away from fights, even though this is the final game of the Grand Finals. They're still trying their hardest to get these fight advantages, knowing that there's no way they can just sit back and wait with how this series has gone. There's no possible chance that these players are going to want to do that, and there's a
Oh,
kill in
man.
the Dragon lane.
And Tribe, the Lovers duo bottom lane, they both hit level 5. And they didn't even need the ultimates. It was just a straight-up 2v2 outplay. A Louis and a 1v2 almost as chunked out Chuck. The bleed is enough. A Louis doesn't get a reset off of the dunk, as it didn't give a killing blow to Chuck. He just died out to the bleed. But the fact that he is handling himself in this 1v2 is huge for NME, Smacks.
Yeah, isolated kills in both sides of the map for both teams, too. Tribe are the ones that find another kill in the Dragon lane, and it's another kill for Old School, too. This has been the most consistent carry, I would say, in this series for Tribe. When Old School is doing well, the team as a whole is doing well. Old School keeping the aggression going with Max Green. It's so much damage with the Essence Reaver.
And such smooth combos from Max Green battle dancing into that grand entrance, getting a chunk out of Selma's HP bar. We saw early in the series how Dienzio and Selma were able to pilot this duo to success, but Tribe didn't have the Lovers duo in their hands that time around. They already witnessed how much work it had done for Dienzio and for Selma in Game 4.
Selma, Dienzio looked great on this duo when they were on the offense. This does not feel like they're being very offensive right now. And, I mean, they can't really find a way in when the Xayah Rakan is this strong, but maybe with time they can do it.
I mean, Tribe is keeping them poised here. They already know that Tigers had just finished a Rift Herald, so they're winning out on the macro game right now, as the threat of 4 against 5 is enough to keep NME out of the Dragon, just because of this huge item advantage that Old School provides.
Man, Tiger's able to smite that one down and come right back to the scene of the crime. Oh, diving in.
Shockwave lands and follows up onto the two members, but Tigers might have gone way too far forward. But it's massive knockups as Selma goes in for the re-engage. Damage is huge from NME. Is going to be enough. HP Mars are so low for Tribe, but they've only dropped Tigers, whereas NME, they've lost 2.
Oh, Tribe, they're still around right now too, Rafa. The Dragon is still up. It's looking like they're going to be taking that recall, though. Tribe's still alive and well, despite the members going down for NME. Dienzio takes that recall. Oh, man. All this fighting here is favoring Tribe. They still haven't taken down a single turret, but you can see that that gold lead is about 2K just off of these fights. And they've got these huge item wake-ups. Everyone on Tribe has a full item completed. Meanwhile, Louis is still looking for components. Maybe thinking about a full Maul Malmortius just to survive the burst.
Right now, the way that's starting is gatekeeping a Louis from this river entrance with that ball. The threat is enough to keep him at bay, but they can't keep it up for long. They're going to trade position on this river to be able to shove in this mid wave, though. And now this is where Truth has to go back and catch the wave as they're slowing down the Rift Trail once again. Tribe, this is one of the plays that has worked out for them well in the past. They're able to take a positional advantage. They don't get the Dragon yet, but forcing and pulling NME around this river forces the mid turret to go down in their favor. And now they have all 5 members dedicated into the pit. Selma's looking for the flank. Taunt is going to land on the 2, but Tigers are going to cancel it out with the Hextech Ultimatum. Looking onto the backline, though. Truth is falling up onto Old School, but the Feather Storm is going to keep himself alive, and he flashes back. He's still doing damage here for Tribe. They keep all their members alive once again. NME are not able to find any success.
Yeah, Rafa, it feels like NME are just tied to the end of a string that Tribe are yanking around wherever they please. Like a leash. And they're not letting go anytime soon. See the Tribe, they keep bringing NME away from the objectives that NME would otherwise want to be taking down. Tribe, they get this mid lane turret, they get the Dragon, they get everything that they want. NME is stifled for every possible thought that they could possibly have. Tribe just says, no, stop thinking that. Bad. We get this. No.
3,000 gold ahead for Tribe right now. It is not the end of the world for NME, who remind the relationships that exist due between Dienzio and former teammates in Tigers and Max Green. These 3 were on a team together for Tribe back in 2017 for the Vainglory World Championship. They went so far together, and it means the world for Tribe and NME to be the ones that come out on top, as it is a friendly rivalry between close friends and former teammates. But they, in this situation, Smacks, when each other are pushing each other to the limit, this is where you get the best of the best. And now Tribe in the lead. They're going to push their advantage. They find Dienzio. Tigers going to slay down the former teammate as he locks him into the Hextech ultimatum. 4 members dedicated onto the Dragon side of the map. Tribe are going to continue pushing their lead to 6,000.
You're saying it's a friendly rivalry. That didn't feel too friendly to me, Rafa. Tigers locks down Dienzio and gets to take away the Krug camp to Tribe. Keep the tempo going. And when you think about what the next objectives are going to be, NME, how they get back in is still the Wombo combo. They only really have the option of going for team fights. They have this Cataclysm Heroes entrance for Tybe and Selma to go for, and then Truth layering on top. NME, they have drafted themselves only one condition of fighting, and it is 5v5. So when they're this far down, they have to make things very decisive. They can't afford to think before they leap. They have to just go in full force.
But it's much easier to do that when you're the one that has the gold lead, that has the stat advantages. You look on the other side of Tribe, it is 2 full items for Old School. Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge. He is packing a punch. He is putting out major damage. And any time that he's able to clip someone with these feathers, the blade color will rip through the health bars of NME.
Definitely will. Louis trying to find a way into this. Maybe getting some vision down. As Baron is going to be spawning. Tribe, you have to think that they're strong enough to go for it at any moment. Got 2 items on Old School Xayah. And typically you'd see this Essence Reaver followed up by the Solari Charge Blade, but no. Old School just wants as much crit damage as possible, pumping those out with Infinity Edge. The burst is palpable for Tribe. They've got other tools too. Even this tank of Gragas is going to be hurting if Chuck can land the crazy casks that we've seen from Gragas in the past.
NME are doing everything they can to stay alive in this game. Tribe with the lead. Tribe with the acceleration in this state of the game. They have control over this top side of the map, as it is almost completely dark for the members of NME. Thankfully, they have 1 ward in that river area, so they know that there is a death bush lying in wait for them. Tybe and the rest of NME might be able to try and see if they can get a debate and a bamboozle, be able to make the engage in their favor, knowing that information is theirs. Baron has been started up. It's going to pull NME right into the choke point. Oh! That's a huge shockwave combo. Explosive cast does a lot of damage. TRB! Is this Tribe's winning fight right here, right now? Hero's entrance is going to follow up, but it doesn't hit anyone on the knockup. Chuck goes down in exchange for a Louis. Tybe is low on HP. Tribe only get a 1-for-1, but they have the HP bars, and they're going to force their hand as they head towards the Dragon.
Max Green and starting had a sick engage combination, but it felt like Chuck just knocked everybody right back to safety. Tribe slightly disjointed on this play. Will it punish them for the Dragon?
Dragon is secured by Tribe. Tigers is able to walk out. Goes in for the tactical sweep. He finds the Enzio. Forces the flash out. It can be a re-engage though. Look at the HP bar. True finds out the huge double, but a shockwave comes back out from starting, and it's such an instant triple.
How does he find a shockwave yet again? The cooldown's so low with this build. Starting is able to find yet another team fight on Orianna, saving his team, and then Old School with all this damage too. These 2 damage-dealing members for Tribe saving the fight. And look at this. You can see that ability haste is up to 40 with just these 2 items, and I believe the boot's giving him some too. That is a very low cooldown on the shockwave. It's only going to get lower when he hits level 13. Starting in these team fights is so clutch. We've seen these Orianna players save games over and over in this major. Starting is no different.
And in their position, Smacks, when Tribe is so far ahead, Starting doesn't need to save plays. He needs to end them. Yeah. He can be the final nail in the coffin for NME as Tribe. 2 dragons to their name, 7,000 gold up. It's not the 10k gold, a point of no return for NME. but they are hanging on via thread. Ooh. As now they look for a potential engage. Blue buff is secured over to the side of Tribe. The re-engage comes out. The explosive cask is beautiful from Chuck. It splits up the opposition. However, Max Green is now locked into the Cataclysm, but is able to get out thanks to the Stone Plate and the Battle Dance. Old School is pushed back, forcing to use the Featherstorm. Starting, now finding his mark. Potentially thinking about a Shockwave in this choke point. Enemy have to think twice before walking through. Tribe are still going to be able to push back the members of NME.
Every objective is so tense, Rafa. That was just a fight over a single blue buff. Nobody even died. It was only for the blue golem, which Tribe does end up securing for themselves to keep that lead going, and they give that over to Tigers. Denying this away from NME just keeps that snowball in their hands. Even bully them off of the Raptor pit too. Every single possible thing that NME could go for, they have to worry. Will Tribe be there to punish?
Oh, Truth almost tried to force it. Doesn't pop the moonfall quite yet because he doesn't have access to it. Look at Tribe. Look at Selma on the back line, but Old School pops the stasis and he has flash again. He's able to reposition now back to safety. Now looking back into the original backline. Truth is chunked out in HP. Tigers still so incredibly low, but a clutch battle dance from Max Green will keep his jungler alive.
Oh my god, the wolf almost denied it. Time. That was really close. But Rafa...
These fights are so close, Max!
I was wondering what the Scuttle Crab did to make you scream, but... Oh no! Okay, nobody is dying in these fights though. Even though Selma is finding these crazy fights. Did you just throw something? Okay.
No. I'm oh no. Oh no. Shockwave is there. Knockup is there. Selma's gone. And now the pursuit is hot for Tribe. They're pursuing down into the NCO. The Hextech Ultimatum will lock him into the Death Realm. NME. It's only now 2 members, Tybe and Alui. Tribe now have the numbers advantage to fight for this Baron, and this could be the last steps that they take to finally bring us to the end of this series, and for Tribe to win our first major of the Summoner Series.
Tribe knows he has one shot to save this game. He has to get into the pit. He has to make the hero smite, but he doesn't get the chance. He's blocked off. He's pulled back into the team. Tribe may have just missed his one shot, and he's going to die too.
He pops the stone plate. The burn is not enough. Tribe lives. But at what cost? For what, Max? Because the gold lead is so insurmountably high for Tribe. It is 11,000. And at this point, you can see it in the eyes and the movements in NME. They are desperate. They are clinging to any last opportunities that could slingshot them back into this game. But Tribe, their eyes are on the prize, Max. They know what's in store.
All right, can NME mount and engage when it comes to this dragon, or are they going to be ran out before they can even think about it?
Tigers finds the NZO. The former teammate just isolates him. He has enough damage with his own build. And DNCO is just going to isolate him out. The rest of the fight has already erupted into chaos. Tribe, they've eliminated 4 members. Louis the last one. That's going to be it! Tribe! Through thick and thin, we got the best of 5. We had games back-to-back, full series. But for Tribe Gaming prevailed through all. They are the ones that stand and tighten over the rest. And they are your first major champions of the Wild Rift Summoner Series!
Let's go, Tribe! Congratulations to Tribe Gaming on the win. We had 20 games on the stream today, Rafa, and it all comes down to the clutch team fighting of starting on this Orianna. Oh, I cannot believe it. After 8 games against NME, they finally get that down. And I mean, it's not just starting, it's everybody on the squad. Chuck, Tigers, starting, Old School, Max Green. They fought thick and thin throughout this tournament. They hadn't lost any games up until NME. And NME, they proved themselves a worthy opponent, but not quite worthy enough to hold the title and win the first major.
For Tribe, they can give credit over to NME, as you said. They pushed them to the limits. We got a game 5 out of these two teams, and by far these are undisputably the best two in North America at the moment. But Tribe is the one that prevails through the bitter end, and we have to take a look back, Smacks, at the road that took us to this grand finals in the first place. Through 8 teams that qualified from our first 2 qualifiers earlier this week and the previous week, Tribe Gaming is the one that stands above the ashes, the only surviving team, as they are your first major champions, Max.
Whoo boy, Tribe Gaming, they made us work for it, and NME made them work for it. You can see NME, they stayed up on that winner's side of the bracket, took that 3-game series against Cloud9 to get back up, and they made them fight. Tribe come into that major as that first seed, and I think, Rafa, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to get a chance to talk with one of the victors on Tribe Gaming.
I believe that is correct, Max. We do have a winner's interview with Tigers, the winning jungler from Tribe Gaming. First of all, congratulations, my friend. You have prevailed through the best 8 teams and through a 5-game series with NME. And I have to say, for the first question that I'm going to ask you, in order to get here, to win out of the series, you did have to take down a former teammate in Dienzio. What was racing through your mind as the series was playing out, as you were getting closer to that game 5?
Well, I mean, obviously, as the games go on, we're just focusing on the games. But
sure,
regarding Zio, you know, it's always satisfying to beat Zio because he talks a lot of smack, and it's pretty satisfying because of that.
We saw the emote game was pretty strong.
Yeah, Zio's emote game is on point, like the best in NA, no doubt.
All right, it's fun to hear. You're not trying to challenge him for the emote game, just knowing that he's the best at that one. That's some good banter right there. We got to see you pull out your Camille many times against these guys. Now, from what we know of Tybe's stream, he's the self-proclaimed best Camille in North America. What do you have to say to that after winning that last game on said Camille?
I mean, honestly, it's hard to say, and it doesn't really matter to me either because I know my Camille's good, and that's why I just play it all the time.
How humble.
Man, I'm.
I mean, okay. Honestly, I don't watch Type stream either, so I can't really judge this Camille. So
sure,
it's like hard to say, you know.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'm actually appreciating a lot of the humility. I know these questions can sound like bait to get you to talk a little smack back, but I think it's really refreshing to see a player just really just dedicated and focused to the series, as you've already said so yourself. You weren't thinking about who is really on the other side of the rift. You were just thinking about how you guys could play your game. And with the conclusion of this series, you don't have to play in the next qualifiers, but what is kind of your perspective on the Wild Rift Summoner Series and the landscape overall? How do you view other teams and the possibilities of them either developing and getting better, or seeing yourself as just proclaim the dominant team come regional championships?
Well, I'm really happy that NA is getting better as a region because I think before it was mostly just us, Tribe, and the former goons, Immortals, basically. We were pretty much first and second. So I think it's really nice to see teams like C9 and NME come up because I think as a whole, for a region to get better, there has to be competition to promote, just learning strategy and stuff. So I'm pretty happy that way, but I think I think there's only going to be one team for Worlds, so the competition is definitely stepping up, and that's a little bit tough.
Yeah. So you in your qualifier and in this major, you didn't lose any games except the games against NME. You dropped 3 to them. What do you think, if you had to pick one thing, makes NME the most competitive team that you've played against so far on the streams?
What makes them one of the most competitive?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, all their players are mechanically sound, mechanically good players, and they play a lot, and we scrim against them pretty often too, so we have a good understanding of what we like to play and what we like to draft, which is why I think our drafts against NME might be like different compared to others as well. Yeah. So I think, we have intimate knowledge of each other, and I think that helps when we're playing against each other too.
Yeah. I mean, you played 8 games against them today, even disregarding the scrim, so definitely something to consider for the next coming games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tigers, it has been a pleasure and a blast, and for me and Smacks, who this is our essentially first dive into the mobile esports side of things, and I know there's a lot of history with you and between Dienzio and Max Green, and of course Old School as well, who was on the Cloud9 team during that 2017 run. We don't want to keep you any longer, as it has been a long day for you and many of your teammates. Before we let you go, is there any last words or shout-outs that you would like to give?
Shout out to our forever coach, Hot Sauce. He's a pretty funny guy. Might not be the most knowledgeable at the game, but he helps us out a lot. So shout out to him. And
okay,
yeah, I guess that's the one.
Well, again, thank you so much, Tigers. Congratulations again. And honestly, as me and Smacks and Alk and the rest of the Summoner Series broadcast staff and crew get more and more involved and project forward, we would definitely love to talk to you and the rest of Tribe Gaming and the players and the staff in the future, because we want to get to know your stories more, and especially where you guys came from. So yeah, thank you again so much.
All right, thank you for hosting the tourney.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you for being so good.
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Tigers. And, man, Smacks, we've had a long day and a long weekend.
The stream has been on for 12 hours, man. To say it's a long day is an understatement at this point. It has been a wild ride for Wild Rift. Very fitting. And, I mean, it's just been amazing. I cannot wait for the next qualifiers, the next major, and just everything, man. Oh, this is so fun.
Yeah, I think that really pretty much says it all here, Smacks. It's been a blast, and it has been an amazing roller coaster to be with you all. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone from the Summoner Series, because this does conclude the first major for the Wild Rift Summoner Series, brought to you by Riot, Nerd Street, and Wisdom. The Summoner Series, though, does not end here, ladies and gentlemen. If you think you have what it takes to compete, you still have time, because the qualifier for the first qualifier, I should say, for the second major will begin on August 16th and run until the 17th over at twitch.tv/nerdstreet. The action will continue as we're going to find out which other teams will come up and stamp their ticket to the championship to compete for the 70,000 prize pool at the end of the road in October. We cannot wait for the future of Wild Rift that it has in store for all of us. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.